said, man, listen, this panel has been the most marketed panel, has been as far as information for our people. You ain't doing nothing wrong, bro. And can't nobody put nothing on your bumper as far as Paul, as far as holding you accountable for nothing. Period, point blank.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, brother. All right. You good? You done?
Yeah. I'm just waiting for you. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me get head on over here.
Peace. Tap in. There's so much confusion going on. Oh my dude, but he really be pushing this confusion. And Civil War didn't happen now. Jesus.
Matter of fact, it was Chief Alligator, and he was saying the Civil War really didn't. No, it wasn't Chief Alligator. It was Aboriginal TV. He was insinuating something like that the Civil War really didn't exist. That didn't happen. So, I mean, it's just crazy at this point, man. Go ahead, brother. 764.
Hey, sister, Chief Morning Thunder. I just got two questions for you. So, do you believe that life for you guys as Indians, since you're not saying that you're African or no African bloodline, do you believe that life started in North America?
I believe.
Good question.
I believe it did.
Okay. I'm gonna just leave that like that. And then another question is,
what proof?
Since you guys have been here since you believe that life started here, why none of the people that I ever seen that said they Aboriginal or native to this land with our skin tone never speak none of the languages? You only speak English.
Because, sweetheart, what you have to understand is the language that we are speaking is our language.
Oh shit.
Everybody
English
that came
our
here,
language.
you have to understand, everybody
Here
that
we
came
go.
here were foreigners. Nobody really spoke our language until they got here. This is what I said. What I'm saying about
Hold on, brother.
So
Sister, I'm gonna let
Indo-European
you
is our
continue,
language.
but the better answer to that would have been
Wow.
the same reason you don't speak your African language. We've been stripped of that.
Yep.
See, that would have been the best way to answer that. But when you say this is our language, we know that this is a bastardized language.
Well,
you see, sis? It would have been better to say the same way that you don't speak your African tongue because we've been stripped of that. See, go ahead, sister. I'm trying to help you now.
Well, no. I don't need help there.
Yes, I'll let her hang
We are
herself on her
actually
own.
speaking our language.
All right.
In
Okay.
the
English is our language.
It's been bastardized. There's a lot of
This is
Aboriginal
insane.
words in English language. Okay? When the foreigners came here,
This is insane.
they spoke their language. We taught them to speak our language because you have to remember, we were in power when they came here. So they had to learn our language. Everything that they came over here with was in their language, like the Germans or every foreigner that came over here. Even the Bible was written in German. The Constitution was written in German. Everything was written in their language when they came over here, especially when they established this corporation. So
Show
they
us
are
the
truly
Constitution written in
speaking
German.
our language.
This woman's insane.
So out of the 500 Native American languages that was already here before the settlers came in and brought their dialects, you're telling me that we spoke English?
We spoke different dialects of what they identify today as English. Now you have to
She
understand.
is an absolute
We
insane
speak different
maniac.
dialects. Like if I
We did
live,
not
I live
speak
in
English.
Bridgeport,
Indo-European
and I go to
language.
New York.
The
They
fuck
have
is
a
this
different
woman talking
slang.
about? And people really
If I go down south,
rock with this
there's
shit.
a different slang.
This woman,
It's
Yeah, the
different.
dialect. I understand the slang is
Right.
different, but we're talking about the
No, we're
language.
still
Right.
right.
Yeah,
The
they
whole
ass
language.
off.
Like say Portuguese, and they're speaking Portuguese. German speak German. So you're
Right.
telling me in America before it was America, and you're saying this corporation that we have now, you and everybody in this whole country was speaking what we're speaking now.
We are speaking our original language. And I'll give you a prime example of how you can know that we are speaking our language. Now, you remember, you hear the story of the English coming over here, the British being over here, right? And they came over and colonized, correct?
Yeah,
And
but it was
during
the
the
Portuguese. It was the Portuguese and French first.
wait,
So
wait,
why?
wait,
So you were
wait,
speaking
wait, wait, wait.
French?
Are you gonna let me answer you,
I'm
or are
listening.
you gonna
I'm
keep
listening.
talking? I
I'm
need you to.
listening.
I really need you to listen to me so I can explain to you what I've learned and researched on, brother. I'm not trying to argue with you or
You're not
disrespect you
arguing.
at all.
You're
Okay,
not
so
arguing.
you remember when the British was here and we gave them 13 pieces of land. Let's say we gave them 10 acres and 13 different areas of our landmass. Okay. We then comes the Revolutionary War. Okay. The people that today are called Pequots in the northern part of America fought on the side of the British during the Revolutionary War. And those were our people, the Pequots. So when they lost the war, those people who are our people, today they call them Jamaicans, West Indians rather. They begged the British, said, take us when you leave so we can start a new life. Because if we stay, the Union will just kill us. And I'll pull that information up for you. So they took them out with them when they left after they lost the Revolutionary War. And they put them in what is now Jamaica, Barbados, and different areas of the British islands.
So wait, one
Okay.
question.
So now,
Wait. I just want to get this right. So you telling me that the British came in to these colonies on the East Coast? That was
right.
the 13 colonies, and they took the Jamaicans and the Caribbeans away, and they sent them to Jamaica and the Caribbean islands. That's what you're
Yes,
saying?
because after they lost the war, and because of our people fighting on the side of the British, who are the West Indians today, and I'm going to prove that to you who they are. I wanted to save this information until my debate.
No, pull it out. Pull it out.
No,
I'm
don't
not
put
going
it
to do
out.
that.
Save it.
I'm not going
Pull
to do
it
that.
out.
But I'm trying to.
Yeah,
You won't
save it.
the part where I'm showing you about our language. Now, when they took our brothers and sisters and placed them in the West Indies, okay, because a lot of West Indians can trace their ancestry back here, which explains why people that look like us, that are us, own Foxwoods. They came back, the Pequots. They came back and claimed their land, and they were able to open Foxwoods. And I'd like to show that to you as well. Hang on. I'll do that little piece so he can get and understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, but
no, you don't, because I haven't finished telling you, brother.
No, sister, I do.
No,
but
you
it's
don't.
called,
You do not.
over
You
here
do
it's
not
called
understand.
sources, not sorcery.
Young
Over here it's
man,
called facts over feelings.
young
So
man,
you
do not understand what I'm saying
I understand
until I
pseudoism.
finish.
Let her go. Let her go,
That's
brother.
fine.
Let her finish, brother.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. I'll take that. But I'm not going to give up all my cookies. But I want you to understand this. This is Rodney Butler, okay? His family, and he tells you this story, ran up out of here, and they were put in the British West Indies Islands. They actually were put over in Barbados, okay? These are the people that are running Foxwoods. These are the treasurers. These are members. Do they look African? Look at this.
They don't look like you.
Baby, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you don't think that these people, this sister, don't look like me. And
no, go up. Go back up.
They tell you who they
are.
Go
back up.
But you have to remember they're mixed. We're looking at mulattoes here. Some mulattoes. Some are mulattoes.
That look like you? That look like you?
I accept him as my brother because he's mulatto. He is
Oh
mulatto.
wow. But you don't
He is
but
what
you
you
don't
call
accept Africans as your brothers?
from this landmass here in the Americas, North America. This is my brother.
You know what a mulatto is though, right?
Yes, a mulatto. In this case, and in this instance, he is half white, what we call today half white and half black.
But
These
would black would be considered African
he's
American,
mulatto.
not would black as the construct we have in America now right now, black would be considered African, right? American, not a native, right?
Well, I no, not necessarily, not necessarily, because you have a choice to pick between black and African American on the forms, and you also have the choice of not selecting it at all. And see, but
But
our
my
people was never told that.
okay, but you said you have no African blood, you don't accept Africans, but you
As
accept a
my race
mulatto. But
identity, absolutely not.
no, but you
As
said you
my
accept listen, but you said you accept a mulatto. And then when you go down to the
that man
etymology of
is
a
from North
mulatto, what is
America.
a
Let
mulatto?
me tell you something. That man is from North American landmass. That's my one of my brothers from North America. It's true. I'm claiming North American landmass. I have no knowledge or nothing to do with African landmass. So any brothers and sisters aboriginal to this North American landmass are my brothers and sisters.
Oh, okay.
That's
But
that's my only concern. Like if we were to go to war, I'm fighting with my brothers and sisters
so the
of this
you said the
landmass.
Jamaicans you said the Jamaicans and Caribbeans and West Indians are your peoples also, right?
Absolutely, they're from the Americas.
Now you know now
Wait a
listen, now
minute.
you know
First of all,
there are
do you know the
listen,
landmass? Do you understand that
you know
Jamaica's
there
in North America? You do realize that, right?
you know what you just said, that is Jamaicans and Caribbeans and from the Caribbean islands, West Indians that say they come from Africa, not the
That's
13
because
colonies
they
you're
have
talking
all
about.
been indoctrinated just like us. But when they learn that they can trace their history back here,
Peace, sister. I can't do
they
this
fix
no
it.
more. This is
See you later. Well,
stupidism.
that's what
Peace.
Rodney did at Foxwoods. That he
I
came from
can't do
Barbados
this.
and he claimed his land back.
All right,
So
thank you, brother. Hey, you got to be strong coming on here, brother. If you
yeah, you gotta
can't,
be strong.
you got to let this sister. I mean, if she's saying that's her belief, that's what she believe in. You can't get mad. You just gotta, you know, show her wrong, prove her wrong. But the sister is doing a good job. I want to say, good sister, stand on your ground, stand on your square, and people will come at you because we've been taught all
I
our
have
lives,
thick
sister.
skin.
Hey, Chief, we've been taught all our lives that we are African American. So, you know what I'm saying? So you got to bear with some of our people.
Oh, I know that. I have thick skin. Saying that,
They probably
saying that I have 12 brothers. I have 12 biological brothers. 12. It's 12 boys.
hmm
And
Yeah.
I'm the only girl.
Yeah. So let me ask you, are Mexican also Indians?
It depends. Now, sometimes, okay, people from Mexico, let me explain that.
hmm
The original Mexicans were Negroes. They were Negroes. And when Spain came in, they started mixing with them. But the original Mexican, oh, and I got a video of that, of a Mexican who looks like me. And they mixed in with the Europeans. Now, if you have a Mexican, right? Say like you're from Spain and you have a baby by a Mexican that looks more like his European side. This is across the board here in the Americas. They cater more to their Latino, their European side than they would their Negro side as looking like me. And that's a fact. That's a fact.
Mm.
So all the originals here in the Americas, whether it's North, Central, or South, look like me.
All right. Mind Elevation TV. What it is, man. What's up? Talk
Peace
black to
and
me.
love, family. Peace and
Peace.
love.
Peace, brother. Do you have a question for the chief?
Yes, I have like 3 questions. Is that okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Peace and love, sister. How you doing today, Chief?
Peace, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I just want to say that I mean no disrespect when I'm asking these questions. I just want to know. That's all. So respectfully, do you believe that the transatlantic slave trade occurred?
No, not in the sense that what they're teaching. No, I don't. Now,
Okay.
what I do believe, the trade that they're talking about, or this transatlantic thing, it wasn't our people. And if you ever listen to Dane Calloway, he is telling you the truth when they tell you that history was told in reverse. It was not us who came here on ships, it was them. They came here. They came here as indentured servants. And we were the
Um,
ones that met them here. And I don't know, do you know the definition of an American?
no, I do not.
Okay, hang on one second. I would like to do a share screen really quickly. I'm just going to pull that up for you of an
Okay.
American. Now, this is the Noah Webster's 1828 dictionary. It's a noun, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper color races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans in America. And I can explain both of that to you.
Okay.
Do you know what copper looks like?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so let me just take you there really quickly. All right, these are pennies, and they were very descriptive when they described us. Copper colored, that's me and you. Copper, that's close to our skin. They described us. Copper colored races of America. Understand?
Okay.
So that's what an American really literally is. If you put me around all those pennies, that's me. I'm a copper colored being. And I don't want to give this up. Back in those days when we were in power, they took off the copper and just left color so they could distinguish us between white and black in the very old days. And I'm going to show that to you when we were in power. I didn't want to give up all my cookies, but we were actually in power, and that's how they distinguished between the white senator and the senator that looks like me and you. They took off copper and just left color and white. And I'm going to show you that in very old newspapers. I hope I helped you out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, you are.
Okay, go ahead. Your next question, brother.
Yes. My next question is, so you are saying that there was no Africans here, so there was no Africans here at all.
Okay, so let me say this. In history teaches us that they brought 20 odd slaves to Virginia from Africa. You have to really ask yourself, when you look at the list of the names, they had Spanish names. They didn't come from Africa. Every last one of them, Antonia Maria. There's no Africans named Antonia and Maria. Why would they have Spanish names? Their names better be like in the Mugumbud like that. None of their names were like that.
Because
It
they
was
were
a lot.
named, sister, they was named after their slave master. Whoever
Check this
owned
out.
them, they took on their names.
But Janetta, then you have to ask yourself this question. When they brought those slaves here in Virginia, I just showed you who Chief Powhatan was. He looked just like this brother right here in you, with a chain, with the Africans coming, supposedly Africans coming here. That's who was in power here. Chief Powhatan around the time that they said, and I just showed the picture of Chief Powhatan right along up with Pookie, Ray Ray, and Lou, man.
Have you
All right.
ever? I'm sorry, Sonetta. Have
No,
you
go ahead.
ever? Have you ever visited the old Slave Mart Museum located in Charlestown, South Carolina? That's where my
No,
family
I
comes from.
no, but my family, my entire family is from South Carolina,
Okay, we're
and I
from
just
Florida.
yesterday
Okay. What about your family? We're from
I
Florida.
just had a
Hemingway.
segment. We're from York. We're from Beaufort. We're from McCormick. We're from all those areas. My family. I just did a segment like the day before yesterday, and gave a listing of all the tribes in the different counties. What original tribe was there before the European kicked them out? Every tribe in every county in South Carolina and North Carolina. I did that. My next one's going to be Florida. So you can understand who you are on this landmass. The unrecognized tribes. There were thousands. They only recognized 6 tribes out of the thousands that were here. And when you say all the unrecognized tribes, those are the Pookie and Ray Rays that you see all across this landmass. So I broke it down. They took them out and they put Pookie way on the bottom. And they hate you today, just like they did back then.
So let me ask you, sister. I want you to take a look real quick. Take a look at these brothers and
Very
sisters.
familiar.
All right. This happened in Indianapolis.
Hmm.
I think 1930, if I'm not mistaken, something around there. Well, you can see they got the sheet wrapped around him
Hmm.
because they castrated him, and you can see the blood right here where you see my right here,
Yeah.
blood right here
Hmm.
because they castrated him. So you see the blood coming out.
Hmm.
They also stuck a crowbar through his chest right here, where you see the other right here. They stuck the crowbar through his chest.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I want you to take a look at this one right here. So I could just share a couple of
I'm
pictures.
very familiar with that photo. So graphic.
Right, right. Yep. Here's another one that you can check out.
Hmm.
This is what they would call picnic,
Pick
burning
a
at.
nigga.
There you
Picnic.
go.
Pick a nigga. Yep.
His name was Jesse Washington.
Yep.
They burned him alive. Notice he got the rag around him, a towel around him. You
Yep.
see? Because
Yes,
you know
sir.
they castrated him.
Yes, sir.
So you see that as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
before they hung him up, they this is what they did to him before they hung him up. They will send pictures, they will send tickets out to let the people know that was in their community that there was going to be a lynching today. And
Oh,
people
yeah.
will come from all over just to see, white people will come from all over just to be a part of the picnic. Pick a nigga.
Yep.
And
Pick a
that
nigga. That's where
brother that
picnic comes
you see
from.
just now hanging up from the tree, he's right in here. If you look good, you'll see him right in there.
Hmm.
Do you see it on the screen where I'm showing you? Is my
I
marker?
do. Your marker's going around it. Yep.
Okay,
do.
yes. So that's where you will see him. That's him right there. His name was Jesse Washington.
Hmm.
And they burned him alive. And they also used a chain to hang him because, of course, if you burn him, the rope is going to pop. So they
Right.
used the chain. You see?
Hmm. Yes,
And
sir.
so I want to ask you, as you look at these pictures, would you say that these are Africans from the continent, or
No.
were they Indian?
Aboriginals to the Americas. And we've been doing that
These
for
were Aboriginal people?
say netter. We've been
Yeah.
doing that time. That's our murder style. As Aboriginals, I'm gonna get into it when I talk about the Indian Wars. That's our murder style. We chopped heads off and everything. We had horrible wars against each other as Aboriginals, different tribal wars. And we had wars like that with when our people joined the uh Union, you have to remember there were a lot of our people that were under those Ku Klux Klan sheets. Everyone always paints this picture as the mean, bad white guy in the sheet coming around. Our people were in under those sheets too.
Now, do you have the book called Without Sanctuary?
I do not. I don't.
Well, the book is telling you in every picture who are they, what's their name, and where they from.
Sinetta, you have to remember one thing about when you're reading books, and I learned this big time in grad school. People will write their opinions, but just because they write it doesn't mean you have to believe it. There, you know, there's a code, and our people are on the very same code. And these scholars, these black scholars, these different black schools, they're in on keeping our history from us, Sinetta.
Right. Hey, let me ask you, sister, you don't feel I'm disrespecting you or nothing, right?
No, not at all. No.
The person said this is disrespectful, sir. Like, what is he talking about?
I learned the hard way not to pay attention to the chat.
Yeah.
But
Now, when you look at that, this is the whole family system. You see the father at the top,
mhm,
right here.
mhm,
You see the father,
absolutely.
right? Then you see the
Absolutely.
two sons right here. You see them?
Yes.
One over here on the right, one on the left. But guess what? There were four. Here's another one. If you look to the left, you'll see his feet. He's hanging upside down. You see his boots? You see it
Yes,
right
sir.
there where I put him inside the box?
I do.
So is another one hanging upside down, and his head would be around here somewhere, down here, by the
I
brother.
did.
So you see him? He's hanging down. All the way at the top, you can see the boot and then the other shoe. So there were four, the whole family, the father and the sons. You
Let
see?
me tell you something, say Netta. When you
Yeah.
see pictures like this, there was code to remove us from our land. And when we rebelled, even our own people came in and did things like this to us. People, when you see people like that, it was probably because they would not leave their lands. We were
Yeah.
forced off our land, and those of us that didn't go, they gave us 24-hour notices. And I'm going to show you the news articles that I have for them giving us 24-hour notices to get off our land.
Yes.
And
I
they,
should be with one.
if we didn't, these are the type of things that they did to us because our people, our Pookies and Ray Rays refused to leave their land. And I'm gonna get into showing you that. So when someone writes a book and put down, oh, well, this African man was hung with, no, this was an Aboriginal that was hung, that was probably forced off his land, or some white woman probably lied and said he raped her, and they hung him. So it's right now, it's us Aboriginals against these scholars writing these lies about our history because now they can't prove that we are from Africa, but we can damn sure prove that we were here. And this is what they don't want us to do. So our people that are these scholars, a lot of them don't even realize that they've been indoctrinated until they wake up and say, oh my God, I didn't realize this. Until they learn.
This is the same woman who says,
stop
I'm
looking
fake.
to other people's stories
Not
about
real.
our history and do their genealogy and look for themselves.
Take a look at this picture. They got the pine box waiting on the side.
What they know about
Look at them.
genealogy.
They had a infatuation with the black man's penis.
Oh yeah.
As you can see, his pants is down, and then they got the rag going across it so the people won't be seeing the blood and it's missing. Do you know what they used to do to the penis, sister?
They would cook it.
I can't imagine, but today I know what they do with the fetuses was make use
They
for
put the
makeup and
penis
things
in a pickle jar and put
and
it
sit
in
them
the
on the shelf.
storefront window. Yes. Sometimes they would give it to their daughters as souvenirs.
You have to remember when these pale face started coming over here from different countries like Germany and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
they wanted us off our lands. They paint a story about Indians living in teepees. That's bullshit.
No, it's
We
not.
lived
That's
in
a
the big
different
houses
group of
that you see.
Indians.
Next
Please,
thing you know,
Pontiac.
you have these
It's a
pale
different
faces
group. Those
knocking
are
on your
Plains
door giving you
Indians.
24 hours to get out. And they moved right in our damn homes.
No, they didn't.
Or the sheriff, if you say like you have a family of 16 kids
She's just
and you
making
live
shit
on
up.
40 acres,
Freestyle.
right? So you have a big home.
Like Jay-Z, I don't write nothing.
Sheriffs would knock on your
Own
door
studio.
and give you 24 hours to get out of your house. Or they would come and say, okay, because we worked our
I know.
farmland.
Or,
You got a new
I got a new
master.
idea. Or,
You got a new master. The master would move in our houses, and we would be slaving on our own
now
land.
the
under
master
them. It
moved
was
into your house
war.
and you just turned into slaves on your own land. Just like that. Nigga pulled
I
up,
think,
moved into
you know,
your
when
crib.
I have
took
the
over.
debate, and I'm
Yeah, let me bring on
What
something.
kind of
I might have a
feathers
question
goes
for you,
on?
but go ahead, finish, sister.
I think that when we're in a debate, I'll be so
Now, if
happy
I
to be
call
able
in,
to
they'll be like,
show
oh, you bullying the
the
system.
information,
You
all the
bullying the
evidence
system.
that I pulled out of government files and archives.
I
And
don't fuck with Sarnetta.
it'll
My
stick
dude in
better.
real life.
I might
don't
not
fuck with the
convince the
platform.
entire
Ain't fucking with
chat room
nobody who
because
got
they're
kudos on
into
their
their belief
platform no
of their
more.
history, but I know I'm gonna catch some souls, and that's what it's all about.
Nope.
Is it okay if I ask you two
Woman
more
about
questions?
feathers.
No,
I-
not right now, brother. Not right now. I want to get to other people. I got a lot of
I
people
know
waiting in the
Sarnetta.
back.
Enjoy the show. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'm gonna enjoy the
Thank
show.
you, my
Thank you.
brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hey, Dr. Daniel LaRoche,
You
man.
welcome, sweetheart.
Hey,
Doc-
hello,
I want to say
Sarnetta.
thank you yesterday, brother. I got my glasses, brother. I got my glasses from the eye exam, and they are beautiful, brother. They are beautiful.
Got to know there's a reason.
Okay, good.
You've got
Yeah,
to
so
know.
you have a
there's
question for
Good afternoon, Sarnetta. Good guest. Yeah, I have a couple of questions. That's okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, he's breaking up really bad. I can't
Yeah,
hardly
you're breaking up, brother. I know you're driving. You're breaking up, though. Dr. Daniel, you're breaking up.
Come on, Dr. Daniels.
Yeah, have you ever done a 23andMe DNA test?
No shit. They don't do DNA.
No, sir. I don't
To the
believe
chief?
in it. No, I haven't, sir. It's for entertainment purposes, and it clearly says it on the box. So I will never take a DNA test. And you have to understand a person like
Okay.
myself. And congratulations on your MD. You know, when you
Okay,
get so far,
I'm sorry.
when you get so far and understand and you've sat with corporate white America for 37 years of your life, and all you had to do was just watch them, and you learn what they do. So I would never ever believe the white man's
I would never believe the white man.
or system about who we are. I can only believe in myself.
Okay, Professor Jin from China,
Nope, can't tell you nothing
the scientist,
about
and he
the
did
South.
DNA tests in the Asian population and was able to show that all of the Asian population descended from Africa. You can look that up, and so I just want to share that information with you. One. Two, have you ever been
They do
to
not
Africa, Ghana, for
believe
example?
they from Africa.
I've never left my landmass
They
ever. and
believe they were
I
born
have
here.
no intentions on ever
Therefore,
leaving
none of
this
their
landmass.
ancestors ever were
Okay,
And
born
another
anywhere
thing
else.
I have to say,
Yeah.
doctor, is I don't believe in foreigners' information about my history. I don't care if he's Chinese, Japanese, African, white. It doesn't matter. I will never ever believe anyone's ever again.
Because when you go to Ghana, they have
You
the
don't wanna
Elmina
hear
Slave
that.
Castle, the Cape Coast Slave Castle, and so you'll see and hear from the people of Ghana who built those slave castles, who sold some of those people into slavery, and they'll give the testimony that sort of corroborates the transatlantic slave trade. So that's an additional piece of
You do not
information
wanna
if you
hear
ever get
that.
a chance to go there. And then my third and final question is the Olmec statues made out of stone that were from thousands of years ago in the southern, like, New Mexico area. Are you familiar with those
Of
monuments?
course they are.
The Olmec monuments?
I'm very familiar with it, and they look just like us
No, they don't.
Okay. And
No, they don't.
what do you think is the origin of those monuments?
here
Here. That's her answer.
on
Here.
this landmass.
Those are Negrito people. The
Let-
Olmecs
let-
are a mixture of
yeah, sir.
Negrito and the
Let me
indigenous
say
people
this.
of
Go ahead. Go ahead.
the Mexico region, the Anuak Valley region. That's
After
who the
going
Olmecs
through
are.
what
That's
I
why they
went
look the
through,
way they
the
look. They
education
have
system
Negrito
and
in them.
college system and grad school. You know,
That's
you've been
simple.
through it.
That's why they
There is
appear to
nothing,
be African. They have Negrito
nothing
ancestry.
a foreigner could ever school me about when it comes to my history. And the way to get back at them is to use the very tools they gave you back on them, and that's how they lose. And that's how I'm going to do it.
That's how I'm going to do it.
When you see me, you
Yeah,
see
show the
God.
Jaguar priest. There's a lot more.
Understand that.
Okay.
There's a lot more on those stats.
I would
on
agree
those,
with you that the
heads
Olmec monuments
that
were
unless you go
created
there
here
and
in
see them,
America.
you're not going to notice it.
But I would say
Has anybody ever
I
talked
would
about
say
the
that
magnets?
the
You must go
science
there to learn about the magnets.
that led to the development of those monuments
What's the
originated
magnets
from the
about?
Nile Valley, where they built mega structures and mega monuments in stone like that. And there's evidence
I don't
in
need to
Ivory
guess.
Van
They told me.
Sertima's
I know what the magnets
that
is about.
showed
I'm just saying. I don't
that
speak on it.
Africans had
There's
migrated
people out
through the
there
currents to the
I've
Americas
never heard them talk
to
about.
help contribute to this
They
civilization.
were Jaguar priests.
Build that
There were
up.
many other
So
Doctor,
I would
let
just
me
share those
ask
points.
you
as
this.
well. The
Let me
Jaguar
ask
was
you
one
this
of the
about
main
Africans.
ones, but there
What
were other
is it
cults
that
too.
Africans
And
invented?
each Olmec
Because
head has
we
a
invented
different
everything
totem
here.
on the helmet.
African. What is it that they invented that you name other than the jobs we gave them?
Now she
We
want to put
sent
Africans
tires
down
over
to
there
prove
for
who
them to
she
make
is.
rubber.
Why can't you just
We are the
speak on
gods.
who you are? Speak on your family.
Why
Speak
is
on your
it
family.
that African come to our country
Why
for
you gotta
education?
talk
Wait a
down
minute.
on everybody else?
Why does
who you are?
everybody in the world come to the God for
Nah,
education?
the mounds. Listen, those heads
Let's just
are
sit that out
the
there. Did you leave
are
America
carved
and go to
from
another
the
country to
throne
get
of the chief.
doctoral
When
education,
the
or did you
chief
get it from
died,
the God land?
they would take his
Where you're
throne
standing
and
now.
carve
Okay, I'll answer your
Everything,
question.
effigy into the
everything came from here.
throne. That's why it's so bulky.
Okay, I'll
the
answer
way
your
it is.
question. 7 million years ago,
Like the location.
Torne,
Oh,
first
the
woman's bones
last
is
head
in
they
Chad.
found, San Lorenzo,
3 million years ago, Dinkinesh,
wasn't by no
uh,
ballpark.
woman's bones is in the land of Ethiopia. The language, the Meduneta,
And the Olmec
from
are the
Nile
original
Valley,
mound builders
uh,
of
some of the
Mesoamerica.
first major
They never built
architects,
pyramids, they're mound
buildings,
builders.
Kustal
The reason
incense
they built
burner,
mounds is because they lived in
from
marshy
the Nile Valley,
environments. That's why
the
the Olmec
pyramids,
heads were found
thousands of
sunk
years
into the
ago,
ground.
from the
Because
Nile
the ground
Valley,
wasn't
construction,
solid enough
architect,
to
science,
uh,
engineering,
maintain pyramid
mathematics.
Who do
structures.
you think?
They
Who
were
do you
mound
think
builders.
made those pyramids and built them? Because they didn't have tools over there. The tools over there to make them. We went over there and colonized and built everything.
See?
Whatever they learned here from here, they went and took and built
What
over there.
proof
You
do
know
you
why?
have that
Because they
America
saw them here first.
went?
What is
And
your
then they
source
went,
of that
and then they
information?
went over here because our pyramids outdates theirs. That's my
Insane.
source. We
That's her source.
outdate everything.
We outdate.
What source is that? What source are you sourcing that from?
None.
I'll show that
Her
in
brain.
my debate.
Okay,
Everything,
well, I
Venta
just want
Mound
to share those
everything
points.
is built from here,
It's
sir.
called a
You're gonna have to
pyramid because that's
understand
the
that
Eurocentric
when you're over
terminology.
here
It's a mound.
in the
And
Americas,
in fact, the mound is
heavy.
filled with debris
just
of
think of it
other
this way.
artifacts.
When you read your Bible and you hear that the heavens
Okay.
were invaded,
It's
talking
called
about
a
America,
pyramid
bro.
because that
We're
is
the gods.
European vernacular.
All right. Thank you.
Bible.
I'm gonna do a
Beautiful.
breakdown on what
Okay,
pyramids
take
really
care,
are,
man.
All right, peace,
Okay,
brother.
take care. Peace.
what these mounds really are.
All right, Nepal, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
They are.
Okay, you have a question for the sister?
Well,
Yeah,
put it
peace
this
to
way.
you,
What is the
Chief.
primordial absence?
Peace and honor to you, sister.
I have just a couple of quick questions. The first one I'll start with.
I can't
just
put
wanted
things
to
out
ask
no
you a
more
little bit
because
about the
these weirdos are
Mexicans
snatching it up and trying to
and
make
their
themselves sound
origin.
smart.
You said
But I
it
got a whole
depends.
build on
So
all this stuff.
so are you saying on record that
Exactly what's going
the
on.
ancient Aztecs, like those particular people, the ancient Incas, the Incans, do you say that these were Black people? They were not who they're depicted as? Are you saying that they are not the ancestors of the Mexicans
I
and
went to Mexico
even
in 2008
the ancestors of some of these
because I
people
wanted
who
to
claim to
see
be
things
Native
for myself.
Americans?
I went down there with 2 books in my
I'm
hand.
gonna say it to you like this.
It came before
And I'm just
Columbus
gonna make this
and When
short
Rocks Cry
because
Out.
I don't want to show
When I
all
got
of my
down there,
information.
halfway
Okay.
throughout
When you
my
see a
trip, I threw the
Mexican,
When Rocks
an
Cry
original
Out
Mexican,
book
you're
into
looking
the
at them,
trash.
Okay. So,
right?
okay. So,
I'm really done with that question.
right. I
Because
got it.
I
I
have
got
a
it.
debate. When you
Okay.
see a
So,
Mexican,
I heard
an
you.
original Mexican, you're looking at her
All
right
right. Now,
now.
She's the
let me
original
ask
Mexican.
you, what about the
But
actual
she's a Chickamack.
hard
She's an invader.
evidence on like slave records showing the origin of where the slave ships originated, like what the doctor was asking you? There's actual records from the slave ships. And then I'll ask you one last question after that. What do you say about that when there are actual records showing that the slave ships originated in Africa, the West Coast specifically of Africa, and then came to the Americas and also Europe? What do you
I
say
got a
about
whole
that?
documentary from the footage.
I
I was down
what
there
I
for
have to
like
say
3
about
weeks.
that, I
I
believe that
filmed. I
story
got all
just
the
as much
footage,
as I believe
some pieces
Snow
out.
White and the Seven Doors.
But I'm
So you
I'm gonna
don't
put that out
you
shortly.
disregard all that evidence, even though, because this is the thing.
I most certainly do, ma'am, and
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave it like that. I most certainly do.
I know you do. I get it, but you're showing us information, a lot of pictures, and you have a beautiful family. But you're showing us pictures, but you want us to accept that, but then you don't want to accept actual records, historical records. I just want to put that on record. One more thing. Are you familiar with the Hopi Native Americans?
No.
You've never heard of Hopi, the tribe of. So do you acknowledge any Native American tribes like Hopi?
I don't acknowledge Native American because anybody could be a native. Like somebody that moved to New York. I'm a native New Yorker. That could be any foreigner born here.
Somebody that moved
and
to New
living
York
in
is
New
not a
York.
native
That's
New
what
Yorker.
native
You can't
is.
move someplace and
Okay,
be a
so
native.
so I'm talking about indigenous people who claim, like you, to be indigenous. They're called the Hopi, and they're in Arizona. You've never heard of those type of that tribe of
No,
people?
of course not.
There are thousands of tribes, ma'am. I don't know.
They heard of the Hopi. They know that
Okay,
the
it's pretty
artifacts they
popular.
found in the
That.
Grand
I
Canyon
can
were
say
actually
that. I don't
Hopi
know all
artifacts,
the
not
tribes.
Egyptian.
No, I'm just
studying-
asking. Yeah,
I'm-
okay.
Sister, I'm studying every day, learning all the different
Okay.
tribes that are indigenous to the Americas.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So these are a tribe of Native Americans who can link themselves, or actually they have a lot of their culture tying them back to Egypt, which is Africa.
Okay,
So
well,
I'll drop
that's
that.
very good, but that's not the purpose that I'm here today.
I ain't
Chief
never heard
Morning
that.
Thunder, this is the sister you will be debating.
That's fine. Okay, nice to meet you, but I really would rather wait until our
Oh, she's
debate
about to
day.
get her ass
No, I just want to
destroyed.
ask you some questions. It's not a big deal. What is Waya? Is that a tribe? Is it?
It
the
is. It's actually our nation.
Okay. Did
Wow.
you?
And our tribe consists of many tribes across the Americas.
What language is that? Waya.
The language that we're speaking right now.
Oh, it's
Why
mostly
you're making
English?
shit up?
It's the language that we're speaking right now. We're speaking the same language that we spoke when you arrived here.
Wow.
My question's answered
Okay.
until
so
our
we're-
debate.
So we were
until our
speaking
debate.
English as indigenous people.
Ma'am,
We were
I
speaking
just
English.
answered your question. I'm not going to answer it again.
No, no,
Mhm.
I'm just,
If you ask me a question one time, I'm only going to answer it one time.
no, I just wanted to clarify. So I just clarified.
Insanity.
We were saying
Ma'am,
that we,
ma'am, I clearly told you. I said, ma'am, we are speaking the same language we spoke from when you arrived here on
okay,
a
no,
so-called
I
slave
wanted to
ship.
clarify that because that's interesting because English originated in England.
Okay, well, that's going to be your proof
Indo-European
against my proof, right?
Okay.
language.
All right then.
All right. Peace. Thank you. Brother Chris Harris in the building. What up, Chris?
What's going on, brother? Sonetta, the godfather of consciousness, the black Michael Corleone. What's going on? Can you hear me? Loud and clear?
Clear.
All right, just want to ask our dear sister here a couple of questions right quick, and I want to make it quick and fair. Just make it quick and easy here because I am at work. Okay, sister, those feathers that you're wearing on your head, your hairdress, is a very beautiful headdress. If you don't mind me asking you, what is that headdress, what culture inside of that headdress indigenous to?
I'll tell you what, I ran out and killed a turkey and stuck him in my head. How about
Wow.
that?
She unraveling.
Okay, so you
already.
make fun of the indigenous cultures over here that yet you claim, and you give me an answer such as that?
Chris, you asked me a question and I answered it. I'm familiar with who you are, so I'm answering you, and that's my answer. I ran out, killed a turkey, and stuck its feathers in my head. Next question.
Okay, this is the toughest place to be on the internet when you're coming with information. Let me make a statement real quick. And a lot of it, I'm making a statement real quick because I can see right now we can have no
Are they up here to make statements or to ask questions? Because
well, I asked you a question and you said that you.
I'm preparing myself
Excuse me,
for
sister.
the debate for the sister. Okay.
Well, I'm going to
Now,
prepare you for this debate with this sister because she's going to ask you the same questions.
well, so then why don't you give her a chance?
And you're educating us.
Debate.
No. Well, here's the thing. So you were up here making claims.
What is
Excuse
wrong
me.
with this woman?
Say, Netta, do you want
Excuse me. Can I ask my question,
Hey,
please?
Netta.
Let him ask
Ask
you
your
a question.
first question.
Sister.
Ask
He
the
won't
next
ask.
question. I don't want to hear
Ask
a
the next
story.
question, Chris.
I don't want to hear a story.
Okay.
Question.
You say that you're indigenous to the Americas. What was the name of your tribe?
My original family tribe, original tribe is Catawba, Cherokee.
The Catawba tribe, Cherokee tribe?
Catawba,
Okay.
Cherokee, and wait a minute, and Seminole, because I have two sides, my mom's
Wonderful.
side, my dad's side, and we have Creek. Question
Great.
answer.
Oh, great.
Next question.
Okay, so yes, I wanna answer. I wanna elaborate on that fully for you.
No,
the
I'm not going to
Cherokee
elaborate
Indian.
with you.
I'm
not
talking
gonna
to the
elaborate
audience.
with you. You asked a
You
question,
don't-
and I answered your
Which
question.
one of
Okay,
these?
so the
You have
Cherokee
more
Nation, the Cherokee.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you let me finish instead of being so rude?
No, I do not want you
Look.
to finish. I want
All
the
right,
next
Chris,
question.
man, we got to
They
move
don't
on.
give no
brother.
type of
We gotta
land
move on.
knowledge.
That's
We don't
ridiculous,
They
man.
don't
Not a
recognize
dialogue.
And she looked like a Nigerian. You know the Cherokee and the Catawba had slaves,
They
right?
want traditional
Thank you.
And
rights.
your highest chief was actually an admitted African in the Cherokee Nation.
Have a good day, sir.
All right.
I'm not
Yeah.
debating with you.
All right, peace,
Hey,
Chris.
Nepal, give me a ring. I'll show you how to wipe her up.
All right. Peace, Chris.
Peace out. Peace out.
All right,
No.
let me go to my man.
Look, I
I
got
want
thick
y'all to-
skin, and I'm not. I
That's
have
right.
thick skin, and I
Now,
got
hey,
12
sister,
brothers.
I want to say this to you real quick. With all due respect, you know I love you. You know we love you. But this is the toughest environment to be in. And so
I
we
respect that.
require.
I
Hold up
respect
one minute.
that,
Hold up.
Dinetta, but they're up here to ask questions.
Hold up.
I'm not up here.
We are, when I bring on a guest, you are required to answer all questions, which you are doing. I see you answering the questions, but you got to allow them to ask you the question. That's all I'm saying.
I get that, Sonetta. I
Yeah.
get that, Sonetta. But what I don't want to get into is a YouTube conversation. If that's the case, I can go on my own
Right, I got you. I feel
channel
you.
and have
You don't got
dialogue.
nothing to
I'm
bring
here
to
to
the
answer
table.
questions, and if they don't accept the question, then
The answer, you mean?
Scooby-Doo, right? If they don't
So y'all
expect
see,
the
ask
answer,
your
then
I
question.
just want
Scooby-Doo.
all 5 of y'all on here right now to know.
All right, so y'all ask y'all question and the sister will answer it. My brother, son Tan Johnson,
None of
what's
these
up, brother?
platforms outside of Bro Rich's platform,
Unmute yourself.
none of these platforms want to have a real conversation with Turtle Gang. And at this
Tan,
point,
where
we're
you
not
at?
even
You
as
broke
much
out?
interested in anymore.
Okay,
That's a wonderful last name. I can't wait to
let me
show
go
him
on
all
over
the
to
Johnson slave owners.
Dante Bolden. Dante, you on the call?
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Hello.
Hello?
My job
Hello.
is to
Hey. I
promote
was just
what
'cause
foreign nations are doing.
I was just bringing up the point that Sarnetta brought up earlier. He was like, "What about the Mexicans?" And I was thinking, like, with California, San Diego, San Francisco,
Yep.
all that. So I was like, "Well, like, what's your take on that?" And nothing else. I'm quiet.
I
Like,
believe that there are many of them that are definitely aboriginal to this landmass. A
Yeah.
fact.
thank that. Good answer. Yeah, thank you.
Good answer. Thank you.
Hey,
Still
next
there, Big
question.
Pontiac. Yeah.
All right, brother. What happened, y'all?
Next question.
What happened? Did you ask a question, Dante?
He did. He asked.
I asked him.
and
I asked like,
answered.
like recording to your question. I was saying like, the Mexicans and what about San Francisco, San Diego, and how they left
So she's
they
the
imprint
original
on
Mexican.
America and all that. So she said, yeah, they definitely indigenous people. So it was
I
it was
said,
it was shortcut.
wait. I said a lot of them are aboriginal to the Americas, and then there's a lot of them that are not.
Copy. I got you.
Okay.
Right?
You done, Dante?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, let me move on over to the brother, Tata.
One to Stu, please.
All right. Peace, brother. You are on the call.
Peace out, man. Hey, bro, a big fan, man. I bring my family out to watch the show all the time, man. So it's an honor to be on, man.
Is your
Well,
name-
you look like Sugar Ray Leonard.
Man, I hear a
little
lot of that. Give thanks.
He do favor Sugar. Yep. Sugar Ray
Hey.
Leonard.
Well, check this out, sis. And respectfully too. One of the pictures that you showed earlier on the show, when you were trying to show, I guess you were trying to show a native person, and then it was the Pookie and Ray Ray thing, where you went from
Chief
a native
Wellington.
person. Yes, ma'am. You showed a picture of Oba Shango from Nigeria on
Mm-hmm.
the right hand side. That dark skin. That was not a Native American at all. We
She was
know
the
that.
emblem. She was the emblem of America.
That statuette was a picture. I can prove that, but that statuette was actually a picture of Oba Shango. It had
Yeah.
nothing to do with America. That African to the left hand side that you had,
Yep.
the headdress up,
It was not
that's
Chief
number
Puat.
one. Number two,
Okay.
respectfully, I wanted to ask you, where did you get the chieftaincy from? Because I see a lot of people that carry the name chief, and I know that comes through through a tribe association. I know that comes through a lineage. So I'm trying to figure out
Hereditary.
how you guys have the
What
title
clan?
of chief. I know us in the Yoruba tradition and in the Bantu tradition, we have to go all the way back home to go get that done.
Okay.
To bring it
I'm
back.
home. First of all, let me tell you, I'm home. I come from this soil.
Okay.
I come from this soil. Secondly,
So what
I have to
lineage
honor-
of that chief?
are you gonna let me answer you?
Hold up, brother. You
I'm gonna
gotta let her
answer you.
finish. You gotta let her answer, brother.
First of all,
I wasn't finished,
I'm-
but
Yeah,
I'll
he
let
didn't
him go.
answer the
I
whole
thought you were
question.
finished. I
No,
have
it's
to
good.
answer
It's
the
good. No,
question.
go ahead. It's
No.
good. Go ahead.
Okay. First, I want to say this, Mr. Gorgeous Man, like Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, my
I have to
sister.
tell you this: you do not look African. You look very, very Aboriginal.
I'm
Secondly,
Haitian.
how
I'm
I
Haitian.
got-
I know where my people come
Now
Okay.
she gonna tell him
Haiti,
where he's
oh,
from.
Haiti's my shit.
I'm Haitian,
There are
and I know where my African
Haiti
people
is
come
from
from
the
too.
Americas.
I know
Not
where my
all Haitis
African
believe
people
that.
come from in Haiti too. That's why I have the name
Okay.
Tata Dosu.
Well, that's funny because we have a Haitian who is a chief and who could totally disagree with you and understand his history here. But let me go into
I
your
don't. I
question.
beg to
Let me
differ.
answer your
I beg
question.
to differ with that one because
Okay, that's
anybody
fine.
that's really Haitian, we are
Okay.
qualified. We are solidified
Not
in what
this
we know.
one. Nope. He's actually in the armed forces too.
That doesn't
Anyway,
matter either. The armed
Okay.
forces. That just
Well, we
means
gotta.
you signed a contract
Okay,
for
brother,
the white
brother,
man's property for 4 years.
I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not. I
I'm
will
not arguing with
argue.
you, sis.
Okay, so let me answer your question. How did I get my chiefdom? Number one, the first thing you got to learn is to come out of indoctrination. Number two,
What does that have to do with being a chief, sis?
Are you going to let me answer your
gotta let her
question?
answer the question, brother. Let her
She
answer
has
you.
no answers.
Her answers, Sonetta,
Excuse me.
respectfully, those
You gotta
answers
let
come
her
with a
finish,
bunch of
though.
BS.
All right, then I guess this
Just
brother
let her
don't want
finish,
to
and then I'll
answer.
let you respond, brother. Let her finish.
All right,
though.
all right, that's cool. That's
Let
cool.
her
Go ahead.
Even if
Go
you
ahead.
don't like my answer, bruh, let me answer you. And then if you don't like it, that's fine.
It's not
you
an
know.
answer when you say come out of indoctrination.
All right,
I'm
so
waiting
now
for
you're
your
telling me
answer.
it's not an answer, and I ain't even finished answering.
Okay,
Are you
go
gonna
ahead.
let me answer you, or are you gonna keep talking?
I'm gonna do
Which
both,
one
but
do
go
you-
ahead.
Okay, if you cut me off again, I'm just not gonna answer you, bro, because I'm not here to debate you. I don't want to debate you.
You're not
But my
answering.
answer is, all right. So I'm gonna answer you, and if you cut me off, I'm just gonna silence myself. Okay? All right. So my answer to that is number one. Once you come out of indoctrination and learn that this is your soil, that's number one. Number two, when you get ready to reestablish, it's not based on what other people said how you should reestablish. If you chief, you do the chiefly thing, and you
So you made
establish
yourself the
yourself.
chief.
Yeah, she made
Cut
herself.
me off.
You just made yourself the chief.
Are you gonna cut me off, or you gonna let me finish?
I was cut off a long time ago. Remember, so I said I was just gonna
Okay,
let her
do you
finish.
want to let me finish answering the question?
So what I'm saying is,
Do you want me
ahead.
to finish answering the question?
I'm gonna let you
Once
finish
you,
interrupting.
when you learn
me
that you're,
and
listen,
Hey,
I'm gonna tell you this.
Ty, real quick. Can you put your info in the back chat so I could probably let you come on and we could do a show?
Yeah, please, big bro. I got you.
Put
All
your
right,
number in
now.
the back chat. But
Absolutely.
let my sister finish, please, though. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
All right.
Once you chief, nobody
you
tells
chief.
you how to run your nation.
That's not how it goes.
I don't look for the United States to tell me how to run my nation or how I became
That's
chief.
wrong.
I'm chief. I build a nation.
What
And
nation
you know why
building?
I
The
built
Purple
it?
Feathers.
Because I didn't have a strong brother like you to help me do it.
Oh my goodness.
So I did what chieftains do. I went out and
I
built
made
my
shit up.
And then I'm gonna tell you what I did. We got together some strong sisters and brothers that are like me strong. We went and we got our damn
Yo.
land back in South
She's
Carolina,
gonna have to walk around
now
for the rest
Georgia,
of her life
Florida, and
with this shit
Oklahoma. Those are our reservations.
on her resume.
Those are going to be soon our sovereign land. So that's what I did, bro. And that's it. That's my answer. And that's why I'm chief.
I like that.
Respectfully. So respectfully, you reclaimed yourself as a chief. There wasn't a community that said that you were a chief. You
Nope.
said it first.
Baby,
And
we have
then you
tribe
got your
members.
community. Hold on. No.
We
You
have
said
tribe
don't
members.
interrupt
They
me.
call me Chief
You
Betsy.
said don't interrupt
Let
you.
her
So
finish,
please
let her
let me
finish.
finish.
Okay.
All right. So you named yourself a chief, and then you said you got people around you to build a society, and you began to do the chiefly things. That's
Hell
not
yeah.
really what a chief is, sis, but I respect what you're doing. I respect your movement. Number
She is an
two,
online
you said that you reclaimed your land. You got some people together and you started buying land. So that would mean that you would enter into a contract with America to buy land back, correct? So you didn't really reclaim land. What you would, if you did actually get your land back, you actually bought it back from the so-called colonizers. Hold on.
She's
that's
a colonizer.
right there. Excuse me. Okay. That's number two. I heard you say to Brother Chris Harris also that you killed your own turkey and you made your head, but that's disrespectful, sis. And all due respect,
I said that
my
to him
last
because
thing, the
I
last
know who
thing
he
that I
is.
will
He's a
say,
troll.
the
He's a
last
troll,
thing
and he
that I will
visits my
say is,
channel. So I just
the
was
last,
telling an
hold
asshole
on,
to
sis, now you're
a butt.
interrupting me. Didn't
Well,
you
I'm
just
just
say
telling
that
you,
you
I'm
weren't going to be
answering the
interrupted?
question.
Now you're interrupting me. So I'm not
All
going
right,
to be
hurry up,
interrupted.
bro.
I'm not going to be hurried either, sis. But what I'm going to say is, the last thing is, anybody that claims to be Native American or whatever would never call themselves an Indian.
I'm not Native American, sir. Sir, of all due respect,
First Nations people
I'm not
call
Native
themselves
American.
First Nations people. And if
Okay,
you
so now
are
I'm not
a
going to
First
talk to you no
Nations
more because
people,
you're
you would recognize
disrespecting me.
that because
I'm not Native American.
Indian is a disrespectful
I'm not Native American. I'm not Native American.
Indian is a disrespectful term
I
given by
am
the
not
Europeans.
Native American.
So why would you call yourself an
Again,
Indian?
I'm gonna let you clear
I'm
it up.
not Native American.
Chief, I'm
We
gonna let
know
you
the
clear
history
it up
of the
when he's
word
done.
Indian, though,
We're
sis.
gonna clear it all up.
We know that they didn't even know where they were. They thought they were in India, and they called these people Indian. We know that. So why would you call yourself an Indian, and the rest of y'all indigenous so-called people call yourselves Indians, when y'all are really supposed to be First Nations?
All right.
First name. What's your tribe?
I'm
What's
going
your
to
name?
respond to you
Peace,
now.
brother.
I'm an Aboriginal to the Americas. I am the first American. I am chief of my tribe,
Mm.
and you either respect it or get to stepping. I'm chief.
All right, come on, y'all. Come on here. Y'all got to respect the chief now. Y'all got to
I
respect
don't
our
respect
chief.
that shit.
That's what she represents. Y'all going to have to respect her as that. She call you by what you want to be called, and y'all going to respect our sister and call her what she wants to be called. All right, without any further ado, Stu P,
Her
it's
pronoun
on
is
you,
she.
brother.
Thank you very much.
Her.
Thank you, sister, for being online so I can ask questions. Sister, let's go back a bit. Could you tell me some of the
Nah, I ain't gonna
traditional
have, you don't really
foods
necessarily gonna have me online.
that you were
know it won't be
eating
controversial.
before the
I'll get
pale-faced
all
European came here?
with actual
Absolutely.
documentation. See, I did it before.
Corn,
I walked out
rice,
there, 125th Street. The
all the
video's out.
vegetables, all the fruits.
Been out. 2016. Ran up on
What
Brother Reggie,
about
We were
chicken?
more,
What about
we
pork?
were more like
talking
we were
slick
more
about
like
natives, and I
vegan.
stepped up and
Our
told him
people.
he don't have no right to
We
speak for
lived
Native
off
Americans.
the land, so we were
And
more
I
like
pulled out my
our people
genealogy book
originally.
and shut shit down.
But then
So,
we have. I'm sorry.
Shit ain't been the same ever
so,
since.
so
And
what
the reason I
about
don't play the
those? But
videos
those
is because
traditional
I
foods
felt like I was wilding, like I
are
was
not particular part of our diets now.
up.
When I go to a soul food
And I
restaurant,
watched the video. I
I'm not
cringed
seeing
because I
those
don't like my
foods
behavior.
which were traditionally your
I'm
food,
gonna
a
get
part
over
of
it.
the
I'm
natural
gonna
staple.
pull the video up.
That's kind of weird because any soul food restaurant you
Right,
go
pull
in,
my genealogy
you're
book
gonna
out in
get
like
it cooked
2016
in this
on
style, and
125th
we did
Street.
it.
Niggas ain't know what they
Rice,
was looking at. What is
greens,
that? Where you get that book from? Where can I
corn,
buy it? Where can I get that?
cornbread,
Nah, nigga, it's
cabbage.
my family book.
Are
This is what
those
real
foods
people do.
not from the soil?
Niggas was lost.
So
Beans,
you're saying the wheat that made the flour to go into the cornbread, or the chicken and the fried chicken, or the pork
all
in the
that's
ribs,
indigenous to the Americas. I
and the
just
pork,
named you
and
a plate full of soul food.
let me just
I
ask,
just named you a plate full of soul food
the
that
cheese
came
for the
from the
macaroni and
soil.
cheese were native to
Where
the
does,
Americans?
all right, you
What?
get collard greens. Where does that come from?
No, I'm asking you, was the cheese to the soul food native to the Americans? Were the chicken to the fried chicken native to the Americas? Was the pork chops native to the Americans?
No, not
Mm-hmm.
all of them. Not all of them, sir. There were different foods brought from here. Like we have in South America, we traded with South America all the time. Rice, beans, everything. We have rice plantations here in North America, and we have rice plantations in South America. We traded with each other. Well, before they put up the imaginary borderlines, we traded with our brothers and sisters across this soil.
Hey, we can't hear you.
I can't hear him.
we
There's
can't
a
hear you.
lot of West Indians that eat a lot of African foods like ackee. That's from
Wolf,
Africa.
you got to turn on your camera, Wolf.
Can I just jump in and add that that rice, the only rice that is indigenous to the Americas is the black rice, the dark wild rice. So rice isn't the white rice that you're talking about that's served today. Typically isn't even indigenous to the Americas.
Okay, that's just in your opinion, sister, but I have to agree to disagree. We have to agree
That's
to
not my
disagree.
opinion. That's science.
Okay, well, I can agree to disagree with you.
Okay,
And
no,
I
you
just have
can.
to,
And
I have to disagree.
first I want to say for the record, I respect that that you're doing your thing. I call you chief. The only problem is when you start saying things that are damaging, like there is no transatlantic slave trade. That's where I really feel obligated to come in and dismantle what you're teaching.
Okay, but
Because
sister, understand this.
I wasn't finished. Go ahead.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
No,
But
it's not about a feeling. It's not just
I'm
about
sorry.
a feeling. It's about
I'm
a
sorry.
duty. It's weird. I was feeling like that guy was cutting you off, and I was really feeling for you. I'm just trying to get a whole statement out before you cut me off.
Okay.
I think we have a duty. It's not that I'm attacking you. I love you as a leader and a sister. I love your strength.
I love you too, sister.
Yes, and I think you should be able to do all of this. I love that you're setting up your nation. However, when you say that there's no transatlantic slave trade, that is very it's saddening because it really disappoints me, and I'm sure a lot of us, because you're saying that all of that very atrocious, painful history that we've overcome never happened, and that's a serious claim, and it is offensive to a lot of people. They get offended because of the sensitivity of the topic. So anyway, I just want to say the thing about the rice. Yeah, no, wild rice, what they call wild rice, is the only rice indigenous to the Americas. So you can't really claim that the rice that we're eating in the restaurants today, I think you mentioned restaurants, is our indigenous food. It's not even indigenous to the Americas.
Okay. I guess that's just going to be, we have to agree to disagree. But I want to say this: when you say the devastation of the so-called slave trade, what's devastating to me is foreigners coming over, taking over my land, and then writing a fake history about my people. That's even more devastating. And guess what else is even more devastating than that? To have to go out in my community and get my brothers to understand that this is their land. That's devastating. To get my sons to understand that this is their land and that we've been bamboozled. So as far as the slave trade, there's nothing more devastating than me having to look my son in the eye and say, baby, this is your land. You're not from Africa.
All right. Let me move on over to Comic and Crystals. What's going on?
I can't hear him.
All right, we got
His
you there.
mic is muted. I can't hear him. No. Can you hear him, Sinetta?
No, I can't hear you, Mike. You're breaking up as well. So we're going to have to move on, brother. We're going to have to move on. I tried to get you. Let me go to...
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you now. Come on, say something.
Yeah. You know what it was? I had my speaker on so that everybody on the street could hear the show.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Where you at, man? You downtown?
I'm on your stomping ground, man. I'm on 25th. I'm in the backyard.
Oh, okay.
I'm on your block.
Oh, I see. I see where you at. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on your block.
You're on Malcolm X Boulevard.
So I was watching the show and I didn't really catch everything, but if I could stay on topic, what I would say is I've done my DNA research and my
Try to talk up.
I've done
I can barely hear him.
DNA research, right? And my results say that I'm Cameroon. And I remember at one time, Azariah, live in power, live in transition of peace to Azariah, he would tell me Cameroon. That means you're a Moor. You know, that means that you had influence in the Americas long before anybody else. Are you familiar with anybody saying anything like that?
That they're Moors?
What?
Am I familiar with people saying that they're Moors in America?
Can the Cameroon tie in to being indigenous to this land in any way?
I hear a lot of Moors say that. And Moors are our people. It's a misnomer anyway. It's just another racial identity, if you ask me.
Okay.
When it comes to the Moors, the Maroons.
So beyond that, beyond the Cameroon, my lineage, I can trace back to the Carolinas, right? Most of my family is here in the Carolinas. What would that have to do? Like, do I connect to am I indigenous to this land?
Hang on 1 second, please.
To the Carolinas.
I'm gonna pull something up for you that I just did.
I mean, I know what my, I did my research. I know what the study, what it says, but I'm curious to see how you would
When you
interpret
say Carolina, do you mean North Carolina or South
South,
Carolina,
South,
bro?
South,
Okay,
South.
let me show you something. I'm gonna give this to you.
So like most of my lineage, that's where I can trace it back.
Okay, if you can
South
see this,
Carolina, from
sweetheart.
my grandmother, my great grandmother, and back on. Go ahead, I'm listening.
If you can see this, sweetheart, I don't know if you're on your cell phone, but these are all the unrecognized tribes of South Carolina that were in South Carolina. There's more when you go into the county, but for the most part, I got a lot of county records, and for every county, it was a tribe, and they changed it to county when they took over. And on the left, it tells you the county like Adville, Union, Edgefield, Chesterfield. And on the right, it tells you the Indian that inhabited that particular county for thousands of years. So, that being said, during Reconstruction, which was in 1830, and there are 1830 census sheets. Now, when we talk about Indians in territory, if your family lived in a particular county in 1830 on a census sheet, that was the Indian they were. And I'm going to tell you why. You could not live in Indian territory unless you were affiliated with that tribe. That's the only way. And when you have the census sheets like the 1800s and the 1810s, 1820, this is all before Reconstruction, when they started moving us off our lands in the Indian Removal Act, which was way later. But living in those counties, and I'm talking even before they were even given European names, your family was affiliated with that county, and that's the Indian that you were. You had your own land, you were on your own land, and you were living off your land as a family. And this is what I mean when I tell you, when they came and knocked on your doors with soldiers, giving you 24 and 48 hours to get off your land. And that's why so many of us ran to the inner cities to escape. But I'll go further during my debate.
All right. Let me move on. We got a few people. Eric Bailey, you are on the call, brother. You got a question, right?
I'm downloading this video.
You got 2 seconds. You got to pause your YouTube, Bailey.
Yes, I do. I got a question for the
You got to mute your YouTube channel.
I just turned my camera off for a hot minute so I can smoke.
Okay, is that better?
I'm doing the Indian thing.
Okay, I really can't hear you, Saul. I can't hear you at all.
I can hear you.
But what I want to ask you is, what I want to ask the lady is about when she was talking about the language that we speak today, and the is like English or whatever. And so I was looking in history, and it was talking about the Navajo Wind Talkers and how they were able to speak in Navajo, and the Germans couldn't decipher or pick up the little whatever little moves that they was making. I wanted to ask her about that, and then I want to ask her about like in Jamaica and in South Carolina and all these places where they had the Maroons. Why do they have all of African loan words and they don't have like no native loan words? And when they speak patois, when they speak that little Gullah Geechee language or whatever. So I just wanted to ask her about that. Could she explain any of that?
Sure, I actually can. I'm going to bring something up just for you, sweetheart. Give me a minute. I'm going to go and get this so I can make it bigger on stage Netta when it comes to our people speaking. Help you out a little bit until my debate. I got the perfect answer for you. At least I believe I do. Okay, so let me make this big. This is all from the National Archives. Okay, Sanat, I'm going to do a share screen, hon. And this is from the Library of Congress, okay? You there, brother? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Sanetta?
Yeah, sister, I'm here.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Sanetta? You guys can hear me, okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, there seems to be a delay with his, but I'm going to read
we
something
got the
to you.
camera on. If y'all want to come in, y'all gonna have to turn on your cameras if you want to come into the show. This is why I keep skipping over you. You don't have your camera on. All right, go ahead, sister, Chief.
Okay, here we go. And this is the Library of Congress, and I'll give you the link to it. It says there are many whites claiming to be Indians whose claims have not as yet been acted upon by the nations. Negroes are frequently met who speak nothing but Indian languages and are Indians by tribal law and custom. And there are others who call themselves Indians who have not yet been acknowledged by the tribes. The difficulties surrounding the taking of this census were augmented by the fact that in enrolling the Indians, and frequently occurred that it was necessary to equip 2 and sometimes 3 interpreters to accompany the enumerators to converse with Indians in the same locality. May I have a bomb drop, please? So I just read to you an article from the National Archives that clearly told you that Negroes spoke nothing but Indian languages. And when the census takers came around, they needed to grab 2 and 3 of those Negroes so that they can interpret to the other Indians what they were saying. Grab 2 or 3 of those Negroes. And that's all I have for right now, because I'm saving a lot of other stuff for my debate, brother.
All right, so we're gonna move on. Let me go to Wolf. What's up, Wolf?
What's going on, man? What's going on, gang? What's going
on? All right, you got a question?
Yeah, I guess for Sister Betty, I wanted to ask a question. It's funny, y'all. I'm an artist. I'm over here at my day, my little jobs work. I wanted to ask her, the difference we were speaking on the Mexicans and stuff like that, and for some clarity, the difference between a mestizo and an indigenous person, a mixed person and an indigenous person. So could you just clarify, the mixed people of these, that moved here into these lands and got called mestizo and put on these reservations? Can you explain the difference between them and the aboriginals of this land?
Sure.
Yeah.
A mestizo is a person that's mixed of Asian descent and another European. That clearly is not an aboriginal to the Americas. The only way that you can be an aboriginal to the Americas is if you had that baby by the Negro. It doesn't matter what your race is. It's the Negroes, that give you aboriginal status to the Americas. And that's a fact.
All right. Hey, Wolf, can you let us see what you're painting, brother? What you got going on?
Oh. I can't hear you, but wow, look at there.
I got this.
I see Trump. Wow.
Oh, man. That's awesome, brother.
You are completely amazing.
Man, you're nice, man.
I appreciate it. That's what I do, man. It's my career.
Wow, you're nice with it.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of people behind Trump, like a little political piece. I do like political art and stuff
and
like that.
that's also vice versa for the women too.
Wow, that's good, man. That's good. You good with it.
Appreciate it, brother. Hey, lock in, get show some more. I got a lot of political stuff, a bunch of historical art I'm trying to redo.
You sell it as well? You sell it? That's your
Yeah, for sure.
Where you at?
Amazing.
Where you at?
Give me on YouTube at Top Shata, TOPCHATA. That's my YouTube.
Okay.
My Instagram is Chief Brownwolf, CHIEF Brownwolf. Anybody that want to
Hold on. Are you a Aboriginal?
Yeah, I mean, look, sorry, we all Aboriginal, right?
Okay, Aboriginal. I'm talking about
American Indian.
Okay, American Indian. There you go.
Yeah, I'm Shatta Muskogee. So my folks out of Louisiana, Louisiana and Arkansas. I was born in Arkansas. My grandmother and her great grandmother and them from Louisiana, Baton Rouge, and I was.
Why do you
raised-
think? Why do you think, Wolf, that our people have a difficult time with claiming Aboriginal Native American Indian?
Because I feel like it's been mixed up, right? So, like I said, you got like a Native American could be anybody born in America. So
Right.
a lot of our people still have this perception of a Native American being a mestizo, those mixed people that are sitting on those reservations. You know, a reservation is reserved for an outsider. Like if you go to a restaurant, you get put in a reservation. So a lot of our folks haven't
it's reserved
touched that part of our brains that these mestizos are getting classified as Native American when that's not even a true statement. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the first step. We got to break that, and then we can kind of open our minds to dark-skinned people being everywhere. So,
All right, if you don't mind, you could drop your number in the back chat, and we could probably have a good build. You know,
sure.
Also some good promotion for your artwork as well. Drop your number in the back, brother, in the private chat.
Say less. I got you, sir.
Okay, let me move on
And
over.
say Netta,
Yeah.
one of my brothers
Why
is
she
out
keeps
there
saying
waiting.
that?
Anahu L.
L.
Anahu L. Ahanu
Hanu
L.
L. Yeah, you talking about A1, Hanu
He's
L.
in there waiting. If you could, if
I
they
don't
can have
see
the
him. I don't see
opportunity to
him.
come up. Oh,
All I
he
see,
is in the back there.
I see smoke signals.
Yep, Smoke and
Smoke.
Anahu L. I believe might be back there too.
Um,
Or A1, he could be listed as A1
no, I
or
don't see him.
Clark,
No.
or
Hey,
a
he be listed
Tontonist
as
one,
what?
or a Tontonist one. I'm not sure which.
Yes, Tontonist
Avatar.
one is in the back. But
Okay,
you
that's
got to
who.
turn on your camera. That's probably why I'm going past him. We don't do the peekaboo stuff over here. You got to turn on
Yeah,
the camera.
turn your camera on really quick, A1, and off. Just turn it on and off. They want to make
All
sure
right.
you're not.
Smoke signal. You on the call, brother? What's up, man?
Salute, bro. What's up with all the facial recognition though? I got a question for Sister Betsy and the other lady. Ain't they finna have a debate?
Yes. It's going to be a debate. You got a question for Nepal. You got a question for Betty. For the
Right. First of all, I want to know what the name of their debate is.
We ain't figured it out yet. We will get to that. I'll have them both on the phone, and they will come to an agreement on what the discussion is going to be.
All right, my question for Sister Betsy. What's up, Sister Betsy?
Most likely, it's going to be revolving around
Salute, brother.
and stuff like that. Do you think we are the Aborigines or Africans? It's going to be revolving around that type of topic.
Oh well, yeah, that's standard protocol. I want to ask Sister Betsy, because it seems to be that the narrative, most popular narrative is that all the black people in America have their descendancy or ancestry in Africa, right? Is that the common consensus?
Pretty much based on the folks that
Yes,
came to
that
this question.
is a common consensus, as you say.
Yeah. Sister Betsy, have you found anyone in your genealogical report that has been identified as an African?
No, I have not, sir.
What about you, other lady?
Nepal.
My name is Nepal.
Nepal, have you found an African identified in your genealogy?
As a descendant of African slaves, yes, I know Africans in my genealogy, yes.
Oh, okay, so that African has been identified in your genealogy, like a fifth great grandmother or great grandfather or grand aunt or something like that?
Yeah, just like the
Okay.
same way you don't use certain records. I mean, it's easy for me to say yes because y'all don't even go by DNA. You do pictures. So yeah.
No,
some of us do it. Hey, some of us do.
Hold on, ma'am. Hold on,
I'm
ma'am.
answering your question, sir. You asked me a
Right.
question. I
Now you're
said,
gonna try and pick
based on the
holes
way
in the
you
answer.
identify
All
Africans, the way
their
you
strategy
identify
is to add
genealogy
doubt,
from pictures
not to
and
prove anything,
stuff,
just to
yes,
detract
Africans in
from
my
whatever you
genealogy.
say. But they don't prove
No,
nothing.
no, I'm not talking about pictures. I'm talking about actual names,
They
like
have their own
a
criteria.
great grandfather, a great grandmother with, like
Why would
that
they have
actually
a
came from Africa.
grandfather from Africa?
Well, like I said,
Your African
it's
ancestors
really
would have
easy
came
for
here
me. If I use the
7,
way you
8
verify your
generations
genealogy,
ago.
100% Africans
Like,
identifiable.
He's asking
in
talking about
here.
they can't find no Africans because y'all can't
No,
get
let me say
past
this. Hold on.
fucking
You guys asked me a
1800s,
question
early
and I'm answering.
1800s.
Everybody's jumping in because I'm
Like,
making
it's
sense.
crazy.
Most Aboriginals get up here and show us pictures and tell us
African
things
Americans
about, doesn't this person look Native
Native
American?
African and
That's what I
European.
see most Aboriginals doing. I'm not trying to
Different
disrespect, I'm
mixtures
telling you
of
what
those
I've
two.
seen. And you don't ever go by
Anywhere
DNA
from
or
1%, probably 30
hardcore
to 40%
evidence. You
can be Native
discount all
American.
the historical
Majority of your
records
DNA
for
is
the
going to be
slave trade.
African and then
So when you
European.
come at me and ask me a question about proof on history and my genealogy, you're standing
Genetic,
on nothing. So I can just say, yeah,
different
it is. I look in the
culture,
mirror, my hair's nappy.
different
You
than
get what I'm
that.
saying?
Come
I
on.
have to go by your
Once you
standards.
intermarry, your genetic
Okay,
code.
I would like to
Come on now.
respectfully
Doesn't
say
mean
that.
Wait a minute.
Your
No.
code.
I'm wrapping it up. Just let me land my plane.
Okay, go ahead. I'm
Every
sorry.
time, this isn't just the people here today. Every
What
time I watch one
community
of these
did
shows,
y'all come from?
I hear about pictures. People show their photographs. They say, I looked through my family album, but you don't want to look at actual historical slave trade records. So with that understood, I'm just going to sit here like you all do and say, yeah, I see African because my hair's nappy. I have some big lips in my heritage. See, this is where you guys sound just like that. So you can't come and ask me a question. Do you have African in your history? Can you prove it? Because I can turn around and use your method and say, yeah, I can prove it. I just looked in the mirror and my lips are big and my hair is nappy.
In real life, like on the side.
Okay.
May I be allowed? May I be allowed to?
Smoke. I would
I'll be
also
allowed
like
to give
to.
a
I would also
Well,
like to
I
make
went
a
up there, I came up there with
clarification
my
so the audience
genealogy
doesn't
book
think
7 years
that
ago.
I'm one to show pictures. Okay, I haven't brought out my evidence and all of my
I crushed
information
all
that I
their
need
bullshit.
to prove who I am. But me myself, I go by federal documents. I go by the documents that lead me to my ancestry.
See,
I go by the
by
documents
federal
that this federal government has on my
colonial
family
documents.
that says, yes, you are
And when they
absolutely
see
right.
color,
And I'm going to land my plane there.
color to them.
All right, real quick, let me get
Sorry, Senator, but listen, I have heritage. I have African heritage. I have African heritage 100%. My family, some of my family's done their DNA. There's African in there. I haven't done mine, but some immediate family. And I have Dominican roots, which is also African slavery, Afro-Latina. And also my mother's father was an African slave, descendant of African slaves. So that's the answer, yes.
I ran into this storm
I do have historical records.
10 years ago.
All right.
Thank you, sister.
So
Hold
what
on,
it was,
hold on, bro.
let it pass.
I don't want to try to keep going back and forth. I want to get ahead and get these questions out. Let me get to
Gotta
Ali
carry out
Mahmoud. How do I pronounce your name, sir?
That is fine, Sonetta, because my question is for you. And this is what's really disturbing about this contentious, berating behavior about slave narrative. Now, whether you have one or not, do you believe that all people that claim to be of African ancestry is only because of the slave narrative? Is that your position?
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to Sonetta. I'm asking the host because this is a very disturbing thing going on in our community for going on 100 years now.
Understanding?
What proof is there that the only slavery that exists is of African origin if you subscribe to having whatever number of African ancestors? Is that your position, Sonetta?
No, I wouldn't say that's my position.
Then why do you think it's constantly being pushed, specifically on people who look like we do, that we are supposedly out of Africa and that we are a slave?
Well,
why do you think that is? That's what I'm really disturbed by.
Well, I can't speak for them, but what I can say is I know that a lot of our people have Aboriginal Native American blood in them.
Ho. I would really like to help you today to stop saying we are native, because first of all, in the mischaracterizations of other words, the first one is American. And inside the definition of American is Aboriginal copper-colored people.
There you go.
But native is a political term that has included these foreigners, including these Mongoloid hybrids.
No, native.
So I would hope in the future, would you stop using Native American to refer to people who are copper-colored?
Sometimes y'all confuse me. Sometimes I have.
No, that's why I'm here. I'm here to help. I'm here to help with this by bringing facts.
Sometimes I have the Indians come on and say, "Oh no, I'm Native American."
And here's why I'm saying this, This is the reason why I'm stressing this right now.
My sister, Sister Soul, if I'm not mistaken, I think she considers herself to be Indigenous American. Native
I got you, Sa, but stay with me for a moment, please.
Yeah, brother.
Because each and every one of these labels are by foreigners trying to describe us. You understand what I'm saying? They are all inaccurate. The only one that is inclusive and distinct is American. There is only one. There are no African American, there are no Asian American, no Native American. There is only one definable American. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but who are you? Who are you?
I am that American. Now, some people want to call me Aboriginal. It's inside the definition of American.
Yeah, that's
but referring to anyone as a native, that's anybody born on a particular land.
I feel
okay.
I got you.
So I'm just trying to stay focused for a moment on facts. Second, to attach Africanness to us is not only disrespectful, and I'm not saying that you're intending to do that. I'm saying people can choose to do that. That's their personal choice. But to do it to an entire population of people is slanderous if they call it out of my name, and it's libelous if it's put down in a document. Okay? And then to assume that all slavery is attached to African origins, and I think you've had him on before, my good brother. Now, Taj Tariq Bey has pointed out in the 13th Amendment, the original 20 sections, if you'll notice, in section 12, it said that no one of African descent shall ever be a citizen in this experiment that we call the United States government. Okay? There are other things that are attached to why it's purposeful to make it specifically African as a slave existence. That's called Dum Diversus and the Vatican Church. So when we stop and really take a beat, Sa, and I really appreciate you giving me the time, so I certainly hope you will consider this going forward, that when we continue to be led to believe that we are either Kunta Kinte, out of Africa, or exclusively the slave narrative, it is to displace us from our true origins. It is to remove us off our land, strip us of our inheritance, and make us property of foreign invaders. Now, I'm not saying you agree with that or not. What I'm saying, pushing that narrative and that agenda is detrimental to my children and my grandchildren. You feel what I'm saying?
Their tribal homeland.
And I thank you for the time, brother. You have a great day.
You too, my brother.
Can I say something about that though?
They all know every name.
Black people, people of African descent, of the African slaves, the progeny of the Africans of the slave trade, they are seeking reparation. And he talks about agendas.
It's original
the real agenda is to avoid paying
find me that nation.
Descendants of slaves paying them for the millions and millions of dollars, possibly billions of dollars that are owed to a group of people. And so, you know, when you talk about agendas, we could turn on you and say, well, it's an agenda to say there's no slave trade. So don't come with that whole agenda. See, this is, I'm going to recap. Nothing, no pun intended. Nothing, nobody's saying, like Sonnet, or nobody's saying that there aren't people with native or whatever you're calling yourself, of Aboriginal, indigenous blood. I have that in my family myself. Nobody's saying that. What we're saying is, you want to tell us that the slave trade never happened. We're not going to do, no.
Who's saying that? Who's saying that?
Not you individually, okay? Every Aboriginal that I've ever heard come on this show says the slave trade didn't happen. The
None of us said it up here, sis. None of us said that.
African slave trade. You're saying, I keep hearing, it's just white people, or it wasn't blacks. It wasn't. Yes, it was. And see, I would wager that it's not about people trying to keep land from you, because you can get land. You have a lot of ways of getting land. In fact, as an African descendant of slaves, you could possibly get land in some type of reparation package. But when you say there's no slave trade, then there goes the whole. There goes the whole reparation. I'm almost finished. I promise. There goes the whole idea of giving us reparation. So if we're talking about agendas, yeah, you can be disrespectful if you want because you're hurt, because the truth hurts.
No, I
don't. Whoa. Stop. May I respond? Hold on. May I respond? Because I think she's directing that at me. Let me just say one thing.
I would really like to respond because this is my show.
All right, hold on.
If you don't mind.
This is the Chief show. So, Chief, I'm going to let you get back control of your show. Go ahead, Sister Chief.
Okay, first, I would like to say this. I would like to congratulate you on finding your.
This is going to be a powerful debate. Let me tell you that.
Great-grandmother or your great-great-great-grandmother in Africa. I salute you for that, and I humbly respect you. Now, I will say this. I am totally against reparations for anybody of African descent. Okay? First of all, I'm not into reparations. I am into restitution. Secondly, I am Aboriginal. I understand you can get land, but I don't feel that we should have to buy land. This is my land, and I want my land back. So for the time being, as a tribe, yes, we take this land. Secondly, I can't say too much, but I currently have a lawsuit against those that are filing lawsuits for reparations based on history that happened to my people here in the North.
Hold on.
I just want to say that.
Right. Hold on, sister. You're saying you are against reparations and you have
Absolutely. I'm
against.
Wait. I'm against reparations for folks claiming to be African
She
descent.
said for Africans. Like,
I know. I got it.
Their claim for reparation is based on a history that happened to my people. So we have these Africans that are saying, people that are saying that they're African and that the United States
is delusional.
I'm saying, no, I'm Aboriginal and you took my land, and the history they're talking about happened to my people. Let's get the story straight. I will not accept reparations just to say I'm African. No.
Now watch this.
God.
Now this is not towards my sister here, the Chief, but do y'all remember, those who've been following me for a long time, I've always said one of the reasons why we didn't get our reparations is because we have people that look like us that say we don't want it, we're not with that, this is not us. You gotta have, all of us gotta be on the same page.
There you go.
Hold up. The same way the so-called Jews was. When they came together in a solid block, and they all fought for what they wanted and what they felt that they deserved from their ancestors. Yeah. On the other side of
here's the confusion.
Brother, hold on.
Here's the confusion.
I'm talking.
He's talking.
On the other side, when it comes to us, we all don't have that unity. We all scattered about because we don't understand the seriousness of what that white man have done to us.
Thank you.
See? The white man is responsible for our condition, and I've always said this, but we are responsible for our own liberation. And we can't liberate ourselves until we first become in that solid block. We got to get back to that. You see? We have the identity crisis of all humankind. We Hebrews, we Moors, we Muslims, we Christians, we Kemetic. We want to be everything. We scattered. And this is one of the reasons we are not going to get no goddamn reparations.
Break the glass.
So let me explain. Let me respond to that. First, I want to correct you on something
really
that I happen to actually disagree with you, Inetta, and I love you.
It's all right.
It was not just a white man who did this to our people. It was our people that joined together with the Union, who happened to be white people, and did this to us. We can't keep blaming this story on the white man. We did this to us. We fought against each other. We fought in the Union with the North and the South, and we joined the Union. We went into their corporation. This is what our ancestors did to us. They came in this corporation. It took you're never gonna get me to ever believe a story that a few white guys grabbed up all these niggas like Pookie, Ray Ray, and Little Man and made them confined to their likings and doings. It took niggas to capture niggas. Just remember that.
Chief Morning Thunder is not only correct, Saw, but may I respond for one quick moment? Because I believe she directed it at me because I used the word agenda. Let me say one thing about reparations.
Turn on your camera.
Alabama.
I'm driving, Saw.
Okay,
That's the problem right now. And the point is that because of how I'm not taking it personal. I just manner in her tone in which she claimed I was being disrespectful.
No,
First and foremost, I didn't interrupt you, sister. I didn't interrupt you, sister.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Go ahead.
First and foremost, in the issue of reparations, Sonetta, when there's comparisons made to the Japanese Americans and to the Ish community, it is because of warfare. These were policies of governments, the United States government, in the case of so-called Japanese Americans, and the Nazi Weimar and Adolf Hitler policy of final solution during warfare. The real reason why reparations will never, and I would predict never, be issued to so-called African Americans because of two fundamental requirements. First, claiming oneself to be either an actual slave or the descendant of a slave. And second, to therefore be categorized as property. And no property has ever won in any jurisdiction or any court in the history of humankind against the owner of property. Next, which is why my avatar says what it says, to be a contraband of war is under the fact of the Geneva Convention and the Nuremberg trials, which is why Israel is being cut a check every day. And even with the support of us, Sa, do you know almost $4 billion of our tax money goes to the nation of Israel? And there wasn't a single concentration camp in the United States. So until we understand the significance of being displaced from our own land, that we were under warfare, and we are under constant warfare currently. We are being called out of our names, starting with the N-word, Negro, colored, Black, and African American, all are racial classifications to confuse us, displace us, and exterminate us with the Negro Project and the Racial Integrity Act in Virginia of 1924. Now, these are just simple facts. It doesn't matter what people's opinions are, and you can choose to find an African ancestor. That's your choice. But to continue to participate on trying to extrapolate that over an entire people is genocidal. It is against the United Nations Declaration of Independence for indigenous Aboriginal people. There is also the American version that the Organization of American States has signed on to, and Barack Hussein Obama, an actual African American, signed into law under the United States government in 2014. Now, we can keep quarreling over this on them, or you can go check your own facts of your family history. I don't care how many, and they used to call them ends in the woodpile. That's about the one drop rule. I don't care how many African slaves you may or may not find. That does not eradicate the other ancestors. If you're 5 generations deep, one N in the woodpile does not erase 31 other ancestors. 6th generation, the other 63. 7, you get my point, Saw, about math, does not race out 127 other ancestors. So let's stop getting it twisted. And whether a person wants to be an African slave or not, that is your choice. But for an entire people, hold on, I'll land my plane on this, Saw. For an entire people who have been constantly called out of their name, misclassified, slandered, and libelous policies to exterminate us and replace us with Native American Mongoloid hybrids, that day has ended. And I yield.
How can I get your information? Contact you.
I put my number in the back too, so.
All right. Yeah, how can I contact you, brother? The one that was just speaking.
Alabama. He gone, man. So
Okay, well, let me get real quickly before anybody comes in. While it's still hot, what he said. He's talking about erasing a people, a genocide. Does he not see that that's exactly what Aboriginal / whatever you're calling yourself, not to be disrespectful because there's so many different names. That's exactly what you're doing when you say that there was no African slave trade. Again, nobody's
We're not
saying
that, sis.
no,
Nobody's
but
saying
every time I talk, you jump
finish.
in and say something.
bad,
It's strange. Okay, I'm not the only one who knows this. Every Aboriginal that's been on here has said that the African slave trade did not occur. So stop saying that. Stop. Don't. Please stop. Let me finish. You didn't cut anybody off. Every time you
we definitely saying that.
You say the African slave trade didn't exist. That's what the sister just said in her interview. Now,
I say it too.
The brother just said God damn, y'all won't let me speak. It's triggered, huh? You're hurt. Let me get this out.
You keep on saying the same thing, though, sis.
No, but listen.
Let us say it, brother. You gotta let us say it. Nobody cuts you off.
Every time I talk, one of them has to
take a
talk
ladies'
over me.
break.
Okay, okay, sister. Listen. He just got on and said a bunch of stuff about you're not going to take us away. You're not going to wipe us out. You're not going to tell us we didn't exist. But that's exactly what you're doing to us when we say we know from history that there was an African slave trade. You're talking about us you talk about a genocide, but that's what we know about an African slave trade. So it's strange. It's like almost like a narcissistic trait. Like you do something that you are doing to a whole group of people. And then you say, why are you doing, you could say you're Native American if you want. I believe you probably do have Native American roots mixed in with your African slave roots, but you're not going to say that the African slave trade did not exist. And that's what I'm coming with in the debate. And that's where the Kenyatta first did, okay?
All I'm going to say is this is going to be one powerful debate right here. We got two strong sisters, Chief Morning Thunder. She got that word thunder. She got that title thunder for a reason, because she's going to bring that thunder. And anybody who knows Nepal knows how Nepal gets it in as well. Let me bring in my man, former Dallas in the building, Dallas Cowboy in the building, Clayton Holmes. What's going on, Clayton Holmes?
Hey, greetings, Sal, man.
How many rings you want again?
I got 3, bro.
Woo! You got 3 rings.
Got 3.
All right, with Troy Aikman.
Troy, Emmett, Michael, Kenny Norton, Charles Henry.
Salute, OG. Salute.
Cowboys. Family.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, most of y'all probably know me, but I just
you gotta show us your rings one day, brother.
I will. They're in a place safe right now.
Right.
Yeah, you got source up. So you got source up with them rings.
There we go. And that's easy to do. But anyway, fam, I just want to reiterate who I am. I made it to the Dallas Cowboys, and thanks for bringing that up, Sal. Because again, y'all probably heard this story before. I shouldn't have made it because of the path that I was on.
Right.
But there were people just placed in my life that took me off of a certain path. And so I only played 4 years in the NFL. My career didn't last as long as I thought it would, because I thought when I got to the NFL, I was going to change into this perfect person and be at peace with myself and know how to handle money and all this other bullshit that I was thinking that once I got here. So again, long story short, family, I played 4 years in the NFL. My career didn't end. And by the way, Saw did a video interview with me about my career. So if you want to hear more about it, just go and look that video up. But this is my point, family. My last year was with the Miami Dolphins in 1997. And long story short, again, I didn't play a regular season game with the Miami Dolphins because I got suspended again. Because I was deep into the things that I've been through in life. I went through a lot of trauma. And what made me a good athlete was that trauma. I was running from it. And the coaches that I played for that inspired me, that brought out that thing in me that I'm doing right now. When I played football, I was in the moment. So right now, I'm speaking from the moment, family. And when I'm in the moment, I'm at my best. So all I want to say, family, is look, I have been diligently looking for the truth about everything. I was born a Christian. I was in church three to four times a week, family. I'm talking about Baptist with the shouting and the Holy Ghost and all of that stuff. And if you've been through that and you know what the process was to let that go, I'm about to tell you right now, when we're talking about what we're talking about now, it's the same thing, family. Now, this is and Sa. If we really want to get the truth about what we're talking about now, we need to get some real scholars on the show like Dane Calloway and Chief Nanyu Shabu El. If we want to get the facts, family, and that's what this is about for me.
But Dane Calloway is scared. I invited him many times. He want me to pay him $5,000, brother.
And we need to work on that too. We need to work on that. And if we need to raise that for him, and as long as he's bringing these facts, I understand why he's asking for that much,
The nigga is
why are you not addressing that? Blow y'all minds, bro, about how we all.
Why are you not addressing that? Jabari, your man,
some of us
completely
get
exposed
here
him.
on slavery.
Why are you not addressing
that's not
that?
how we got to America, family. Y'all need to understand that we were everywhere. First,
he's setting y'all up.
Even Europe is named after Ethiopian princes. We were everywhere, fam, and that's what y'all need to understand. They flim-flammed us and put us at the bottom of the totem pole when we were the original people on this earth. So now, I feel,
that's crazy.
I'm not saying that this is true, but from the information that I have, the first humans were from Ethiopia, and they were women. So yes, we come out of Africa. And again, I'm not saying that that's a fact. But from the things that I've seen so far, yes, we come out of Africa, family. From what the shit is showing me, we have come out of Africa and we have just went everywhere.
In the world is arguing.
Okay, so you really have to speak for yourself, sir.
Okay, hold on for a second. Please don't cut me off and do that, family.
Hey, please let the man speak. We don't do all that over here, y'all.
Exactly.
I understand that. But
hold on, bro. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's the sister. No, hold up, Clayton. This is her show. That's the sister of the chief.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So yeah, she would like for you to ask a question so we can get into that.
Yeah, I told me to be a tough chief, so I'm not going to be a soft lady. You told me to be a tough chief, so.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question. You want me to ask a question, Sal?
Yes.
I just wanted to say that I totally
where was the
said.
first? Okay, I'm sorry, sister. Where were the first humans found at?
Here, North America.
And who were they? Were they female? Were they males?
Males, females, bones. We're here.
Okay, thank you then, sister. I'll pass. Go ahead, Sal, to the next question, Sal.
Total suit.
All right. Let me go to the truest in the building. What up, the truest?
Peace to the family. Peace to the panel. Chief, Sister Bethy, I just wanted to establish a few of your stances before I ask the question. So if I'm wrong, correct me. Peace to you. If I'm wrong, just correct me. Earlier, I heard you state that English is a Aboriginal language, right?
I just read the article. Would you like me to read it again?
I mean, you don't need to. I'm just asking if that's your stance.
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. And then you also hold the truth that the people of North America, Central America, and South America are all the same people, correct?
The original ones were, yes.
Yeah, so the Aboriginal.
Speaking about America, so don't leave out Canada, too.
Wow. Okay, great. So everyone from this Western hemisphere are the same people, the same Aboriginals, right?
Yeah, yes. When we're talking North, Central, South America, there's an Aboriginal to every land.
Yeah, but I'm asking, like, would you say the Aboriginals to, I don't know, this northeastern part of the United States are the same Aboriginal people as people from Venezuela?
She don't know.
Venezuela is part of the Americas, is it not?
I'm just trying to understand your stance. So are you saying they would be the same
Your
people
kid
group?
people. Yes, originally. If we're talking
Okay.
origin,
Okay.
because
Okay.
obviously there's been a lot of whitewashing and whiting out, like the original Cherokees or the original Choctaws. If you look at these tribes, these 6 recognized tribes,
Look at
most of the
6
people
recognized
are
tribes.
completely,
Just don't know what you're
clearly
talking about.
white now.
Pardon me.
Originally,
Chief,
they
don't know
were.
what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah,
They
I'm
look
only
like
I'm
me.
only speaking to the ancient Aboriginal people to the
Okay,
area.
so let's
Yeah,
go
so
with ancient. Yes,
yeah,
the
right, the
ancient
ancient, right,
Aboriginals look like me.
right. Okay, great.
Absolutely,
And
here in the
great.
North America.
And so with those 2 understandings, are you saying that everyone in that region spoke English in ancient times?
We spoke different dialogues. We did as
Dialogue.
Aboriginals. We did. I can say that. Yes,
But
I tried to
was
give an
English
example earlier.
was
It-
English present
It's
in
what
ancient?
we call today English. Yes.
Okay,
Back
okay,
then we didn't call it English.
okay. So this is my question to you: if these Aboriginal people spoke English in ancient times, why, when
Today
we
we call it English. Back then it wasn't called English. It was
I'm
literally called
I'm
our
only
language.
using English so everyone can understand what we're
I
referring to.
don't know how she's
Okay.
gonna work her way out of
Right.
this.
So if these ancient Americans were speaking English, when we talk about the Olmecs, who you guys use a lot to show the Olmec statues and stuff like that, or other people in Mesoamerica like the Aztecs, the Mayans, right? When we look at their writings on the wall,
Mhm.
their writings and language were not in an English script. They had their own script. They had their own language, and it had nothing to do with English.
Right.
So why don't we
That's
see any
because
ancient?
again, today you're calling it English. Back then it wasn't called that.
Mm.
Is what I'm trying to tell you. Today
Arthur
it's
is
called
so funny.
English. Way back then it wasn't called English, brother.
So you're saying
Understand
the
this. Everybody, okay, let me put it to you this way.
She's like, let me lie to you in a
Before
different way.
anyone came over here, all the foreigners, they spoke their language. They had to come and learn our language. This is why I read the article where they had the Negro to go around and interpret for the census takers to the Indians. They had to use us. And understand this: the darker Aboriginal, they called us Negroes. The one that looks more white, they called Indian. All right, they're one and the same. So again, and I'm going to say this again, and I'm not going to
Wait a
answer this
minute.
question anymore.
Now they're one and the same.
Back then,
Hold
it
up.
was called our original language. You're talking
She just
Algonquin,
said
all those different linguistics.
Indian and Negro are one and the same.
I
But
could
then they've
pull
been
up
saying that
the map.
they're two
Right, I
different.
could
We're
pull
not
up the
the
map,
same people as
but
them.
they were different dialects. And what I was trying to
This
explain
woman
to the
is
brother,
insane.
what happened to our brothers and sisters that got taken to the West Indies. They went and took on the culture of the European, so that by the time they came back here, when I speak with my West Indian brothers and sisters, sometimes we get upset with each other because we don't understand each other. Because yes, we're speaking English, but we're using different choice words. For example, if my granny here said, "Go get outside and go and play somewhere," a West Indian will say, "Go tire yourself." They tell the kids to go get tired, go tire yourself, go get yourself tired. That means the same thing: is get out and go outside and play.
Just different words.
I think any West Indian listening will be able to relate to what I'm saying. We're still speaking the same language, me and my West Indian.
And guess
sister
what?
and
I
brother,
understand
but
what
we're
go
using
tire
different
yourself
choice
means.
words. And that's
Okay,
the
so
end of it.
the last question I just wanted to ask, and then I'm done.
This is
So
insane.
And I know who you are now. You're Kid Grebo.
So when it comes to these glyphs, right, that
That's
were
Kid
on the
Grebo?
walls, we talk about the glyphs that were on the walls. Are you suggesting you would be able to read the glyphs? Because if we're saying they're just English, it's ancient American English, and this is your people's language, can you read Olmec glyph? Can you read Aztec glyph? Can you read Mayan glyph?
Kid Grebo.
Yeah, that was my question.
Oh, okay. You want to answer? I was going to answer.
No,
it.
no, I
Who-
asked you
who
that
are you
before.
asking the question?
I'm
Who
sorry.
are you
I
asking
thought I
the
was
question
muted.
to? Are you
No, sorry
asking
about
for
that.
her or me?
No, no,
I don't-
you
I'm
got it.
asking you, Sister Bessie.
Okay, so again,
You the crazy
back
eyeball.
then we did write on a raw we did use hieroglyphics, but you have to understand the way things changed. They came up with an educational system because
All
prior
they have is
to their
excuses as
educational
to why they
system, we
can't do
spoke
the
our
things
languages
that they
to
should be able to do
They
if they're
came
those
up
people.
and changed the whole ball game.
All they
So
have
now
is
we don't
excuses.
even
They
read
blame everything
our
on the white person
hieroglyphics
who
no
she
more.
don't believe nothing
They
about what they did
sometimes
or said anyway.
played it on game show talk shows where they used the hieroglyphics. You had to sound it out.
Yeah, I know. Next thing you know,
Teacup,
she's gonna say emojis or
things of that
hieroglyphics.
different nature. Do you understand me? I don't know if you're old enough to remember that. But yes, we did. That's how we used different foods, and we could figure out what each other was saying. By if we drew a cup on a cave, a picture of a cup, a picture of a duck, and things of that nature.
So you can make a cup,
figure out. Back
but
then,
you
we could
can't
figure out
figure
and read it
a
fluently.
term to say cup.
Do you
You can
understand?
make a cup,
I don't think did I lose you?
you can't figure
Yeah,
a
no,
term
I get what
All
you're
right,
saying.
all right,
Yeah.
you there? Hold on.
So
You got a bill to pay. This gonna take a minute, but I gotta pay this bill. Those of y'all who have a
How
business,
long are we
man, go
gonna
check
be
this
on?
brother out. I'm
Hold
showing this for a long time, man. And y'all need to go and give him a call, talk to him, inquire some information from this brother. He helping those who would like to help their business grow. Check.
Do you want to make money online? That means you're going to need a website. Go to kingtouring.org business services. There, you'll be able to collect payments from your clients all over the world.
Let me know. Let me see my own business. So their game plan is to ask a lot of questions, and you need answers. If you can't supply them with specific answers, then they got you.
All
Then
right.
they
We
don't
are
answer
back.
questions.
We are back in the
They
building.
tell you why
We
they
are
can't
back in the building, y'all. So
and usually has to do with the
Sinetta,
government
I would like to do
or
a quick
them,
share
whoever
screen.
they are.
okay. How much more time you got, sis? How much more time you got? How many questions?
We've been on here almost 3 hours now, and I really would like to call it a day.
Okay,
at
I got
five.
one more brother.
I gotta
One more
feed the
brother.
old man.
Yeah, one more brother will ask you a question, and then we're gonna close this thing out. I'll let you close out with your screen share. But for right now, let me just get to King J, and you can close out right after King J.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, brother King J. You got the floor.
I came in kind of late, so I really didn't get a chance to hear a lot about what the queen was building on in regards to her, background and things like that. But my question to her, because I see she was relating the hieroglyphs in ancient Kemet to the ones in America. So I want to ask her: would she say that the mounds that they found here in America, would she consider them pyramids? And if so, would she correlate those? How would she say that science got from ancient Egypt to the Americas as well?
My answer to that is absolutely. And how it got to Egypt. Remember, we predate Egypt. You can look this up. We predate Egypt. So they were
Okay.
here. And those mounds you see, they could be the bottom of what we call pyramids. But they are pyramids. Some are
So what
pyramids, some are mounds. But I also want to say this. How they got over to Egypt is when we kicked certain people out of here. They went over there and built those mounds. They got it from here. They got everything from here. Everything came from here.
So what you say that those mounds are mastabas originally started out as mastabas, like, you know, as far as like ancient, you know, burial grounds, and they built upon those top of those mastabas.
That's why I said some are pyramids and some are mounds, because there were burial grounds. They were some were burial grounds.
I'm rocking with you.
Have a video. I actually even have a video where a white woman stated that she was so happy to build her house on what was a mound and a burial ground of our people.
And that's an African
Did you
tradition.
see that video?
As far as most Africans buried their, you know, ancestors in their house for sure. So I'm rocking.
No. We didn't bury our ancestors in the house. Now I do know Asians that when they, I do know Asians that let their dead lay in their home for about 2 weeks.
Right.
So that's very that tradition is over there. But us, no. Okay. We actually, on some instances, we wrapped our ancestors up as mummies and put them in the burial grounds, and that's the truth.
Okay.
And I do believe, you know, this is ancient Egypt.
Real quick,
we do not put, and that I would know that it would have been passed down in my history. We do not bury our people in our homes.
Okay.
That is a
tradition
of the East.
We got it. Hey, Saad, just real quick, can Sis show me the source where the first humans were found in North America?
No, she's gonna hold all of that because I know that's gonna come up. The debate, man, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, is gonna be fire. Make no mistake about it. Chief is coming with that smoke. You already know what I'm talking about. And you know, she got a huge following with the brothers and sisters that help her deliver this information. So Nepal Sadar, I know she's going to be on top of her game. And so we're going to be dealing with the slave trade. Did the slave trade exist? Are we Native American? Are we both? Do we got African genes? And do we have the blood of Africa in our blood? This is going to be fire. I already know Garfield is going to be on the side of Chief Morning Thunder. We got Garfield in the building. What's up? Shout out to Garfield. What up, Garfield?
I want to say peace and love to the sister, and peace and love to everybody on the panel. I love y'all.
What do you think about that debate coming up, Garfield? Nepal Sadar and Chief Morning Thunder.
I think Nepal gonna wipe the floor with this woman.
He's got his right to his own opinion.
She gonna lose her purple feathers, and they gonna turn pink. Cut it out. Listen, I jumped on to say that I appreciate the sister bringing out this misinformation because I know nobody in the audience believes it. But it's all good though. Everybody is this is what this channel is about. It's about bringing out information and have counter information to deal with it. I think Brother Clayton asked a very. Do I have to say I agree with Brother Clayton for the first time in my life? Oh my God. I'm like, wow, I'm loving him today. Mr. Clayton Holmes, those hits that you got in the NFL is not working today. You're actually extremely smart today. He said, can she provide evidence of the first human being American? And she can't do that.
How do you know that, sir?
You can't do that because I've looked at the report. I know where the oldest human bones were found in America.
All right, well, I'm not here to debate you. I'm not here to debate you, Garfield, but I'm going to say this. But here's what I'm going to say to you, brother. What you're saying.
All right, hold on, Garfield. Let us talk.
I would like to say this, coming from a brother like you, it's totally accepted and respected from a coward who ran from their land, okay, out of here, okay, like a sucker, okay? But let me tell you the difference between me and you. I stayed. I'm still here. I went through everything. And I'm still standing.
Hey,
I'm
you know,
standing.
Hey, sister, I love you for that. Thank you.
Coward.
Sister, I got one question.
And now you back here.
Hold on, that's fine. That's fine. Hold on.
So you're a coward. You don't even have the privilege.
Thank you.
You don't have the privilege to talk to me.
All
right. Now you want to come back to God.
One
You
thing,
should
one
have came
thing.
to me to beg for forgiveness, bro.
That's right, sis.
You
Hey,
ran.
hey,
You
Sonetta,
ran.
Sonetta, you know how you kill
So
this?
get on ahead.
You know
Go
how you
ahead
kill
on
this,
on
Sonetta?
and put your skirt on, boy. Put your
Sonetta,
skirt on.
Sonetta, you know how
ran.
you kill this?
And I
How you
stayed
kill
here.
it? How you kill it?
Stayed
All
here.
you got to do is ask one
I
question.
stayed here.
Show
I
us your
stayed here.
show us
You
your birth
ran.
paper. Show us your
ran.
birth paper.
You're a
Show us your
traitor.
birth paper.
You're
I ain't no
gone.
coward. I show
You're
us your
gone.
birth paper. You done.
ran.
The
You
debate
ran
is
like
over.
a little
Because,
girl.
that's fine. I do
I'm
all of
done.
that shit.
You a little girl to
So
me,
can
yo.
I
You don't
talk?
have the honor and privilege to talk to me
Shut
until you
shut up.
explain
So
why
shut
you
up.
ran.
Sonetta, all you
no,
gotta do is
Hold
ask
on,
your
hold on. Time, y'all.
shut me up.
Sonetta,
Time out.
Sonetta.
You got to move on, Garfield.
Sonetta, before you go, let's ask her for her birth paper and the conversation on, because she lying. She perpetrating a fraud. Her birth paper says she's a black American from African descent. I guarantee that. She's a liar. Get out of here. Sonetta, I'm going live right now. I'm going live on my channel.
We're going to go back with
I'm going live.
doing that, man. All right,
Show you my birth certificate.
all right,
Show you my
brother.
birth certificate, bro.
All right, come on,
I'm
Chief.
gonna show you my birth
This is
certificate.
why they call her the Chief, y'all. She gonna
Yeah.
bring that smoke.
I'ma
She's not
bring it.
afraid to get in the mud with you. Y'all better
Nah.
be careful coming at the sister. That's why
Father
she
made
got
me
the
a
name
warrior.
Chief Morning
I'm
Thunder.
a warrior.
She's a warrior. So without any further ado, I'm gonna say thank everybody for coming out. I'm gonna let the Chief Thunder close this thing out, sister. First of all, before I get to you, Nepal, what you got to say? Are you up and ready for this debate coming up?
Yes, I am more than ready. You still have our dear brother Garfield. I have to agree with Brother Garfield. They seem like they've crossed paths before, maybe not. It got a little heated and very quickly, but yeah, I'm looking forward to a debate with this sister. It'll be very interesting, especially if she's saying that the first people, I didn't even hear that part, were in the Americas. The first person was the oldest bones. Is that what you're saying? The oldest bones? Oldest?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'll just, whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it.
All right, next month sometime. Next month, we got you. It's in there.
I thought I was going to do Christina Nick, though.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Damn, we got Chris.
I'm going to have my whole, this
man.
blood. Like,
All right. So, Chief Morning Thunder, you got the floor. Close us out, sister.
Okay, I just wanted to show this to the brother. Here it is, right here. This is the Indian tribes in linguistic stocks map of 1650. Okay, if you look at, and I'm willing to share, some folks may have it.
And none of that's English.
At the bottom,
What are you
here,
talking
you'll
about?
see all the different languages right here.
None of them
that
are
we
English.
spoke as a people. You got your Algonquin, Iroquois, all these different languages. So it's color coded to the
So
map.
where you get English
Anyone
from?
interested in getting this map, it's on our website, and you could download it and print it. So, and this is all Indian. This is what
That's a good map.
this is what North America looked like before the foreigners came. This is 1650, and it only has the Indian tribes. The 1650 linguistics stocks map.
And where does it say English on that?
Thank you. I'm sorry.
You saying the whole map is
debunked her own
all
self.
Indian. Wait, let me reshare it again.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
sir.
Debunked her own self.
Let me share it
What
again, sir.
type of
Sorry about
insanity
that.
are we dealing with?
And I'll email this to you, Sonetta.
Just she's happy to
There you
have
go.
something
These are
that's
all the
actually,
all the different
of
types
value
of languages
that
we
she
spoke
will
here, and it's color coded
debunk her own
based
self.
on wherever the Indian were.
But you
all
claimed
Indian.
English.
No, way before
Hey,
foreigners.
and let me say this, Sister Betty, with the language, right? I'm Shata, right? It's Chata. We got a place here called Chattanooga. People call it Chattanooga. That's Chattanooga, okay? That's Chattanooga. It's not Chattanooga. So the language is still intact. We live in those same places, them same towns. I was born in a town called Wabaseka. My
What
folks
language
been
is
there.
that? I don't mean to jump in.
That's
but, you know,
Muskogean. That's Muskogean. See, that's
Muskogean?
Muskogean. Imitakaнаchi, Sia Chatoga, Muskoge, Laknachula, Ome.
So that's
Soho
what
Chipo,
you are.
Soho Chipo Nashoba. Soho Chipo Nashoba. That's me.
Let me ask
And
you.
I learned it from my elders.
Yeah, let me ask you. Is that a also? Do they have only so-called black people in that particular tribe, or are there other people who the sister called heathens, like the ones you call from the Bering, that came from the Bering Strait or over the Bering Strait? Are you saying that you said Muskogee, right? Muskogee Indians? Oh, he dropped off. Oh, that's interesting.
I thought Muskogee was an English word.
Oh, I don't. I'm asking.
Area. He's in a bad area, so that happened. There he goes. Yeah.
No, I'm back.
there
I'm back. Hey, Muskogee not an
let me
English
ask
word.
you, is that a tribe? I don't know. Is that a Native
That's
American
a nation.
tribe?
It's a nation. It's a nation.
Okay, is it Native American or Aboriginal or what?
Muskogee is a language.
What do you mean? Is it Native American?
I don't know the language to use. So
It's American.
It's American Indian?
American language. Indian describes a person, not a language.
Okay, I'm asking who speaks it.
He's playing some American.
The Muskogeans and the Americans, yeah, the American Indians speak Muskogee.
The American Indians, Muskogeans. You call them Muskogeans?
No, I call them Americans, or we just call ourselves Muskogeans, or I call myself my name.
So you call yourself Muskogean, and those are the people, right?
What are you asking? You asked the same thing.
No, I'm just trying to clarify real quickly. Who speaks that language?
Different tribes.
From the Muskogee Nation.
He can't.
Okay, and what is the Muskogee Nation only black?
You don't know.
Is it only black? It's not a color. It's a nation.
Okay, is it only people who look like you, copper colored, or is it also other types of people who call themselves Native American with the long straight hair?
I guess it encompasses whoever calls themselves that.
Yes, exactly.
I'll be right back.
It's like